Alright, here we are, episode 54. To continue the exploits of the companions tonight. We're running a little bit late, not too much, but enough. So sorry about that, but I'm probably going to have some players popping in as we play. We'll see. I've got two players in particular that might be joining us tonight, one of which is a guest. Who hopefully will become a regular. So stay tuned for that. They'll be introduced at the right time. But right now it's me, it's Rachel, and it's Dizzy. And we're going to pick up where we left off. We'll do a little recap. Do you want to do that tonight, Dizzy, since you were there? Do you want to do that? You don't have to. There is an extra hero point. Do you want to do tonight's recap? If you want it. I don't know who the DM is, but I'll do it for him. Yeah, I'll do a little recap and we'll introduce the players first. So, yeah, let's pick up where we left off. We're going to start with our intros. Rachel, you're up first. Introduce yourself, your character, and expectations. And I do have a question for both you and Dizzy. I ponder long and hard at night thinking of these questions. In regards to your character, Althea, what do you think is the most memorable event of your character's life so far in this little story, this adventure, this exploration of the Gauntlet? If there's one thing that stood out and just perhaps something that rattled them to their bones, or something very exciting about the future, what would that memorable event be? So, Rachel, you're up first. We're working on our next comedy routine. But interesting. Yeah, I could see that. That was a pretty exciting moment. a big deal in the story so far. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well done. And give yourself an extra hero point, by the way, so you'll have 2 to start. And next we got Dizzy, Rachel number 2. Number 2 because she's the second Rachel to join in that order. So, yeah. How about you, Rachel? Introduce yourself, your character, and most memorable event.
Happened to her mentor, but it was just so jarring to her that she remembers their face, she remembers what they look like, but that's it. That's all she wants to remember of them.
Awesome. You get an extra hero point as well. Folks, if you're joining late, we're on episode 54. We're just getting started. We're going through our player introductions. We got 2 players. We got Dizzy and we got Rachel playing Althea. So we should see a couple more players as we get along here. We'll see. One of which is a special guest that might be a recurring regular player. We'll see. We'll see. That person was in episode 52. So make of that what you will. But we're going to push on here with what we got. I'm going to do a little recap for us, to do a little catch up here. All right, so first of all, both of you got 2 hero points to start the session with, as well as Sheppy.
Oh, okay.
So everybody's got 2 hero points.
That
Because it's a special occasion, and you'll need it.
There's the real reason.
I had to throw that in there. The companions: Althea, Agatha, Sheppy, and of course Arthurian, the dwarf warrior, and Cassandra, the monk, were joined by Lofter in their explorations here deep underground in the Gauntlet. After some early on encounters with some strange, grotesque creatures, they have found themselves in a desperate battle against this giant, undead skeleton creature. A skeleton creature that was made up of smaller creatures. The bones of those creatures that seemed to magically come together. The glue that bonded it was magical. It attacked the companions. But they stood fast. They stood their ground, with powerful magics coming from Althea, a cleric of Desna, and Agatha with her dark necromantic powers. They were able to finish this creature off. Oh yes, and of course, the magical power of the dwarven axe was also a good help to dispatching this creature. The bones crumbled to the floor. The companions were able to search this large room unmolested. They had come upon what looked like, in this chamber, some type of magical circle that was glowing blue. The companions had to investigate, and they did so. One by one, they stepped through the portal, suddenly erupting from the runes around them was this blue flame. And as they stepped into the center of this circle, they disappeared. Only to appear somewhere else in the gauntlet, far below perhaps, in complete darkness. It was there that they were attacked by something coming out of this darkness. Something large, something green, something with nasty teeth and bad breath. One by one, out of desperation, the companions gathered themselves and rushed back into the circle. And sure enough, they disappeared once more. In this case, from their impending doom. And appeared once again in this large chamber, where this skeleton had confronted them. From that point on, they decided, no, we're not going to go down there again. No, let's not do that. Let's go to the east. We haven't explored there. Yes. To the west, rather. So they made a few little mental notes and decided to head west instead. Now, of course, they do know of these teleportation circles. Most of them don't work, it seems, according to their wizard friend. But this one did. Not willing to risk going into that little confrontation again, they decided to head to the west. By doing so, they went through a chamber full of murals all along the wall where they deduced that this was a representation of the godlight. There you can see, rising, was the godlight. A lighthouse, shining down its glowing light on the surrounding civilized lands. And wherever the light shone, strange, grotesque creatures arose or appeared. Creatures that went on to devour and kill and slay all the good folks of the surrounding region. Elves, humans, dwarves were slain. This was depicted all along the walls of this chamber. More notes were taken. The party pushed on to the west through another doorway. They entered a 5-foot-wide corridor that extended maybe 30 feet. Opening up into this much bigger room, Cassandra, leading the party, stepped in carefully, and suddenly there was a click that broke the silence. Under her foot, a pressure plate. The floor gave way. She froze, and just then was felt the rumble and vibrations of something underneath the floor. Into the walls, there was something moving. Many things were moving, clanking, steel on steel. With a couple blinks of the eye suddenly appearing in the corridor floor where all the companions were stretched, Cassandra being in the larger room, frozen in fear. Popping out of the floor were these large saw-like blades, maybe 2 or 3 foot high, zipping across, following invisible lines in the floor, rushing towards the companions. Those blades cut deep into Althea, into Sheppy. They screamed in pain. Blood splattered along the walls and amongst the other companions. These blades, like saws, cut through them. It was then that Cassandra shook herself. Everyone, back to the room, back to the murals! And they all ran back, a retreat. Back out of this corridor, as quickly as they could. The blades then sunk into the floor and disappeared, but there were still rumbling sounds in the walls, and all through this hallway, their appearance was coming again. But somehow the companions made their way back to the room with the murals. Safety. For as soon as they stepped into this room and peered down this hallway through the doorway, the sounds began to fade, until there was silence once again. Standing in this rectangular room with murals all along the wall, the companions caught their breath, tended to their wounds, thanks to Cassandra. And this is where we're going to pick up. And with that, what do you do, companions?
I'm thinking.
So,
Kind of. So, like, rubbing, her wounds, just after having been bandaged up by Cassandra. She's like, I definitely don't think we should be heading back there again. What kind of person puts something like this in their own dwelling? Do we notice the bones, right?
the bones are to the east in that bigger room. Yes, they're spread all around.
I can see we're not the first ones to have misstepped in that room. I wonder what's being protected.
Arthurian, the dwarf, earlier had mentioned to Agatha something about the room. Being a trained warrior, he would pick up on these clues. Do you remember what he discussed with you, Agatha? He had mentioned how, while you guys were playing around with that teleportation circle, that everything about this room looked like some type of training hall. It looked like, it's like a training hall for warriors, soldiers, or gladiators. Althea, you had recognized something unusual about the room. Particularly looking at those heads that were along the... kind of like trophies. There was just the head and there's plaques on the walls near them. These creatures, what looks like normal creatures, are actually not. You could see tentacles coming from what looked like a goat, tentacles coming from its neck. They just looked like they were grotesque versions of normal creatures. In fact, the bones that made up this giant creature you encountered and defeated are odd-shaped bones. Creatures you've never seen before, for sure. Agatha spent quite a while looking at these bones. You cannot decipher what kind of creatures they represented. Very strange.
Well, I don't think it's doing us any good standing here. I'm gonna step away, and Althea like exits the smaller room and back into the bigger room here with the teleporter.
Okay, let me unpause. Unpause. There you go.
There we go. She's just pretty much on the other side of the wall, kind of leaning against it, catching her breath and getting the adrenaline down from just having a pretty much near-death experience. Not just her, but everybody she's with.
So you're all kind of back in the main room there. Lofter shuts the door. I say we don't go in that direction again, says Lofter. I tire of this dark place, and I just got here.
Yeah, welcome back to the Gauntlet.
Ah,
She tries to make a joke, real sarcastic. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm not feeling too great. I really appreciate the healing you've done, Cassandra, but I think I need to take a rest and reconnect with Desna.
Agatha's gonna discreetly move about. Gonna move about 15 feet.
so you want to do a rest? You want to rest
Yeah.
before moving forward?
And Althea's like looking around. She's like, but I don't know if this is the safest place to do so. And she's looking directly at the teleporter. If we could travel just as easily through this thing, what makes us think that the creature couldn't? Granted, if it was trying to chase after us, it would have done so by now. But I'd rather not risk it by being here and waking up in the middle of the night with a knife at my throat.
Arthurian steps forward. Well, I remember earlier there was that storeroom. Do you remember the storeroom? To the north. We could all go up there and barricade the door. We could use a rest, I would say. Cassandra chimes in. Also, there's those smaller chambers where that ooze-like creature was. He was near, but they had a bed. So
The bed.
yeah, remember those
Agatha's
rooms?
gonna look at Agatha's gonna look at Cassandra and she's gonna go, "We are not going to that room. We are not going in that hall. If you suggest that again, it will not be a pleasant experience. I will tell you that."
Yes, I'm sorry. So,
I appreciate every contribution to the plan, though. But it doesn't seem like that's a good direction.
Arthurian recommends that storage chamber. Do you remember that where that was? It was like, do you remember when you first descended the steps where the big pit was? And then you opened that one
was it
door to the east. It was the first room that he broke both those doors in.
I was gonna say there's a note that says both doors destroyed.
Yeah, I just saw that.
You know, Althea's gonna just grab some scrap wood boards, just like a couple of them.
Crafting checks.
If I remember correctly, Arthur, I think he broke this door. So let's all just grab. I think it's a good idea that we head back there. It seems like a safe enough place, but I think we're gonna need some materials for some doors. So she's gonna grab some planks from the broken tables and benches,
All right.
and she'll weakly toss one to Arthurian.
Okay, Arthurian agrees. He's going to pick up some stuff. Cassandra and Lofter, keeping their hands free in case you're ambushed. They all agree. We'll head back in that direction. We'll set up a barricade. We'll rest ourselves before we go any further. And, yeah, if that's the plan, we could do that. So what I'll do at this point, everybody click on the party token, because I'm gonna make everybody invisible right now. And we'll put you back in marching order, and you can make your way back to the north. Yes.
As they're all passing through that room, and Agatha sees the what looks like possibly fragments of a bed, she's gonna try and grab the what looks like possibly a mattress.
Just
And
drag the mattress.
she's gonna try and grab it and drag along. She's gonna go, if we're gonna rest, at least we're resting our head on something comfortable.
Smart thinking, Agatha. I'm tired of sleeping on floors and walking around this place. It's not the most pleasant smelling mattress, but something other than this rock surface will, is better than nothing.
You travel to the north through some of the chambers that you went through before. You remember those mimic-like creatures. You passed through that chamber. Or close... Yeah, you passed through that chamber, I think, didn't you? Yes. You vacate that pretty quick. Quick, shut the door. And you eventually make your way back to where that storeroom was, where the doors were broken down. But yes, this should do. And let's see. If I recall, this room's shelves were packed and stocked with jars full of preserved organs, crates filled with bones wrapped in rags and surgical tools. 2 armor stands flank what looks like a weapon rack to the south in the corner. But they bear only a pair of gnarled sticks in leather sheaths. Perhaps some training implements, says Otharian. But this is the room you have returned to. Now, you investigated this room pretty heavily and did find some goodies in jars. And I think if you double-click that little chest, you'll see what's in there, which is nothing, so you basically looted it. But
Sure did.
there is plenty of wood to kind of build a little makeshift barricade, either directly into this room or up forward to this location up at the end of the hallway, wherever you would like to. Plenty of wood to do that. In fact, the doors themselves can be kind of propped up to bar vision, direct vision, into the chamber, which Arthurian suggests we do. Yeah, but everybody agrees this is the best choice. Get a few hours of rest. Agatha, you only require 4, so it's no big deal for you. But the spellcasters need to get their rest. And a watch is set. Now, Arthurian is going to take first watch, of course. Cassandra is going to take third. And second will be Lofter. And we're going to need 2 more watches here. So Althea.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Agatha will take last.
even though you only need 4 hours, but yeah, that'll work. You'll be up when someone else is up, I am sure. But yeah, you can get that all set up. Is there anything else you would like to do as you guys prep here?
Yeah, I'm gonna just cast heal twice on the most injured people. Who's the most injured?
Agatha steps back, keeping to herself regarding that.
I have
Yeah,
my
she'll keep that hidden.
respectfully, I have my back turned away from Agatha as I slip my holy symbol out and chant the words of Desna.
Now, Agatha, if you want to step out of the room, or once you sense what she's doing, you feel the positive energies begin to fill the room. You do have some protection, but you don't
I'm
wanna
not
be
doing
near.
a 3-action healing, just a 2-action.
Okay.
While Althea's healing the folks, Agatha's gonna take that mattress kind of
Hide
thing, set it up, and she'll take her kind of an overcoat, take it off of her, and then she'll throw it on top of the mattress, kind of tucking in the cloth so it covers as much as she can. Her coat itself has a earthy kind of very homely smell. Kind of reminds you of like not damp earth, but of grass and twigs, things of this nature, to kind of give off a woodly smell. And she finally finishes, and then she just kind of looks around the room to see if there's anything else she can kind of use as a makeshift bed for everybody.
Doing a little housekeeping. Setting up house. Alright, so Althea, you're gonna use a 2-action heal spell, so go ahead and do that. And who's your target?
So I don't know who's taking the most damage, who's in the worst condition.
Just out of the ones on the map here. We don't have to worry too much about the others.
Okay. Well, then I guess it'll just be me and Sheppy, because that's the only people on here I can heal.
Okay.
So then I'm pretty sure we're back full health, because I got 38 and 45.
Alright. That sounds good to me. And this is before you all pass into sleep. Let me make some more die rolls here. Sealing up your chamber, Arthurian settles in with his axe near his side, keeping watch to the north of the chamber. Everybody else is gathered around makeshift bedrolls and beds. It's unsettling, being amongst all these jars with strange organs. Agatha, you feel quite comfortable, actually. As you peer up, you see one particular jar close by with an eyeball floating there. It seems like it's looking right at you. You kind of smirk to yourself. The rest of you fall into a sleep.
Just like home.
Just like home. Sheppy has managed to find a little space to the north, the opposite of Arthurian. He's cuddled up under one of the shelves, just a little space. You wonder to yourself how he does it. How could he fit in such a small little space? Of course, he's a goblin, a strange goblin at that. And you all drift off. The first few hours for Arthurian pass without incident. Lofter, Cassandra taking watch. Althea, your turn comes about. While you were listening, leaning up against the wall, knees close to your chin as you sit there, kind of shivering. It's a chilly, cold place. The darkness itself seems to be filled with that coldness. You hear a scream. 2 screams that fades into the distance. What do you do?
Well, her eyes grow wide, like, oh my gosh, what was that? I wasn't expecting anything of the sort. And then she'll go up to the barricade and listen further if she can kind of like pinpoint a distance. Like, is this just like a faraway echo, or is it just down the hall?
It sounds like it's coming to the north, to the west, towards where that big pit is, that abyss that descended into blackness. It echoes through the hall and then just dissipates.
Did it sound human or more like a animal?
You're not sure. It could have been either, which would make sense in a place like this, with abomination-type creatures. Who's to say? But you don't wake up the others, do you?
No, she waits quietly. She backs away from the barricade, returns to where she was previously stationed, and waits it out.
Okay. Nothing else.
She even dispels her light spell.
Ah, darkness indeed. You hear nothing. Silence. And you move to get a little more rest. Waking up Agatha, who seems to already be awake. Her eye pops open as you draw near. Agatha, you take up your watch at the door. Just then, as Althea falls back asleep, Arthurian steps forward. Aye, Agatha. You can get some more rest. We're gonna take it from here. And just then you look over and you see Lofter rising. So you have another chance to lay down and get some rest. Which is probably a good thing, because unfortunately, you didn't get much rest. So if you want to do that now, you can do so. Do you want to do that?
She looks like she's about to protest, but as soon as she sees Lofter rise, and she's just like, you know what? I don't really want to argue with them, so I'm just gonna go back to sleep.
You do. Sheppy's snoring away. You fall into a needed sleep, Agatha. At least for a couple more hours. As do you, Althea. Dreams are a little bit discomforting, Althea. Kind of unsettling that you heard those screams, and it carries with you in your dreams, almost waking you up a couple times. You swear you hear the shifting of feet in motion, and then silence. You fall back asleep. A deep sleep. Till finally you feel something grab your shoulder, lightly shaking you.
Althea, wake up. It's time to get up now.
Your eyes pop open, and there, looking right at you, wide-eyed, is the goblin, Sheppy.
Althea, you wake up now.
And as you do and rub your eyes and look around, you see a look of concern on Sheppy's face. And it's just then, as you look beyond him, you see that Lofter is missing, as is Arthurian. You look to the left near Agatha, and you see her, but you don't see Cassandra. Looking back towards the door, entry into this chamber, you see that it's different. It looks like the door has been removed. The barricade exists, but the door has been moved aside. What do you do, Althea?
She'll recast light.
Yes.
And
I was on it.
Did anybody hear him step aside? Did he say he was heading back to Otari? Where's Lofter?
Now, Agatha, you were sound asleep yourself. It was only the shifting movement of Sheppy that awoke you. Sheppy woke up and explained that he didn't see anything. They were gone. That's why he looked up.
Would she have remembered Arthurian telling her that him and Lofter would be taking over her shift?
What was that? Did they said nothing?
Would Agatha remember Arthurian saying that him and Lofter would be taking over her shift and she could go back and get some sleep?
Yeah, you'd remember that.
All right, she tell that to Sheppy and Althea.
Dwarves in her death wish. They wandered off. Now what do we do, Althea?
Says Sheppy.
I don't know. We don't have a way of communicating together. Surely they won't be gone long, but maybe we can try to follow them.
I already looked out into the hallway. There's no sign of them. They must have wandered off. Maybe they went back to Otari. Traitors.
I'm sure it's just to find more help, Sheppy. Calm down, calm down. You know Arthurian wouldn't do anything of this sort.
Yeah.
He wants this
He is a
finished
dwarf, though.
as... Well, what's that supposed to mean, Sheppy?
He's almost as small as me, so he's sneaky. You can't trust him.
I'm small too, Sheppy. I'm not sneaky. Well, I won't stand it for you bad-mouthing our friend any longer. But yeah, maybe you're right. They've gone off. I just wish they would have said something to us, or at least to me. I'm a little hurt. But I'm sure when we speak to them again, they'll be able to answer for why they've left us. In the meantime, well, I don't know what we'll do.
What do you think, Agatha?
She'd be pondering why they would have told her to go and get back to sleep. To her, it doesn't make any sense of why they would do that, especially knowing how if 3 of them wandered off, leaving the casters behind. It's almost like taunting death to be like, hey, we don't have much defense, come after us if you want. So she's just like trying to figure out why they would have left without even leaving a word.
I'm not sure. Maybe we should stay here and wait for them to return, but I never had a watch. I don't know how long that was, says Sheppy.
So essentially, the three of you have been left to sleep. Perhaps they thought better of waking you, since you are spellcasters and do need your time. But for whatever reason, the other three, who took their watches earlier, wandered off. Maybe something happened. Who's to say?
Althea brings up what had happened during her watch and says maybe Arthurian acted in haste and went after the scream that I heard. When I heard it, I doused my light and kept still. But maybe he went out looking for danger. That does sound very much like Arthurian.
Maybe we should look for them. We can't stay here for too much longer. There's no telling how long they've been gone. We should look for them.
Sheppy begins to head towards the door. Hops over the barricade, and you can see him at the end of the corridor, peered around left and right.
Yeah. Well, I guess no sense in losing another person. Let's go, Agatha, before Sheppy runs off.
Agatha would quickly snatch up her coat, throw it on, and run after the other two.
Okay. You notice that all their equipment that they were carrying, the ones that are missing, is no longer there.
I figured. Oh, what's there?
Except for their bedrolls.
Oh, well then I'll pick those up.
Okay. Add 2 more bedrolls to your inventory if you want. You're carrying all this stuff. You got a big giant backpack on your back.
Yeah, she does. She's almost encumbered. Phew.
Alright, so with that, let's check out our marching order here. Our modified marching order. We no longer have any warriors. A bunch of spellcasters. So who wants to be in the front?
I'll take the front. You be behind me, Althea. You got the lights.
I'll take the back.
Alright, I'll provide the light in the middle, but Sheppy, let me be your eyes. I can be a little bit more perceptive than you can sometimes. No offense, but...
Hey.
Alright, Agatha in the rear. Alright, activities as you travel these dark hallways. Is there anything in particular that you're doing as you travel these hallways? I've got you so far as Sheppy doing detect magic spells. He's going to continue that. Althea, I got you searching, keeping your eyes peeled for mysterious things.
Especially after having encountered that trap, she's definitely going to be keeping her eye out for those in particular. Secret doors and traps.
Okay. And Agatha, what do you look like as you travel these hallways? So far, you've been using that shield spell. Always seems to be around you at all times, in case you're ambushed. Do you want to continue doing that?
Yeah, she's gonna recast shield.
Okay. Continuously. Alright, so let's use the torch here. I'm gonna put you out here. As soon as you step into this corridor, where you've been a few times now, Althea, you sense it immediately. You can see fresh tracks down below you. You can see that Arthurian's boots are definitely heading back to the east from whence you came.
Well, Sheppy, I think it's in this direction if we want to meet up with our Durian. I think I see his tracks.
So you want to follow that direction? You want to go back from where you were? It's up to you. But you do notice fresh tracks, and it looks like Arthurian. So they popped out here and went somewhere. It looks like they went to the west. So if we want to find them, we're going to have to head in that direction. That's what you think. That's up to you.
Yeah, having not been directly told that they're leaving, she would probably assume that they're out and possibly could need help and whatnot.
Okay, make sure you clicked on the torch. Okay. Now, you pass through the room with the piles of wood, the mimics. You get back to where you were before. You don't see the tracks anymore. You haven't really been following them at this stage, not since you left that room with the mimics. You don't see the tracks anymore. But you have reached this corridor here. And you have no clue where they went. If they went back the direction towards where the portal is, that's one possibility, but they could also have headed to the east, or the west rather. There is a door there. I don't think you actually entered that chamber.
Now, Dizzy, what was the door with the ooze? There was a specific door we didn't want to go head into. This isn't it, is it? I guess moreover, Agatha, have we listened at this door?
I can't remember.
Maybe Arthurian and Lofter backtracked to investigate these rooms further. Maybe they're just right behind it. Starting to get hopeful. I don't like being separated for too long. This isn't the place you kind of go parting ways in. And Althea's gonna listen at the door.
Okay, give me a blind perception roll. Silence. You hear nothing. Nothing unusual.
Does anything about the door look unusual?
Doesn't seem to have a lock dangling from it, nor set inside of it. It has a latch, like the others, can be lifted. Only one way to tell if it's really locked or not. Do you grab the latch?
He goes to grab it slowly, like almost as if like she's waiting for somebody to say no, don't do it. But if nobody says it, she'll open it up slowly and then peering inside, letting her light fill the room.
Slowly the latch lifts and the door begins to creak open. And as it does so, the light fills the room. You see in the north, you see in the south, it looks like tables. You see furniture scattered about. You also notice something covering the furniture and the tables. Mounds of white fungus-like whatever. They blossom from what was once padded furniture in what looks like a small waiting room. Everything is covered in white fungus.
Just the items or the floor too?
Not the floor so much, but all the furniture, the tables, just covered with little white fungus. Little mushrooms are sprouting up. You can see them. Totally unnatural. What do you do?
I turn back to, well, I look to my side to Sheppy and I turn back to Agatha, and I describe this room to them. There's these strange fungi growing off of the furniture. Can I roll a nature check to see if this looks, or survival? Does this look familiar? I'd like to recall knowledge.
Do you step into the room? You might have to get a good look at some of this fungus. Do you step into the room?
I suppose she does, cautiously, of course.
Cautiously.
In the addition to describing the room, I'm going to go investigate it further. See if I've worked in my garden a lot. I'm going to see if any of this looks familiar. It definitely doesn't look like it should be growing down here. And then she'll step into the room.
You step into the room while the others kind of wait back.
Be careful, Althea,
says Sheppy. And as you peer into the room and start looking to the right at this big set of shelves that are next to you, to kind of look closely at these little mushrooms, you see movement. You see something in the air. Something in the magical light emanating from you. It looks like spores floating on the air itself. The room is full of it. You kind of hold your nose. You can feel it tingling in your nose. Do you continue?
I'm going to hold my breath and investigate. I can hold my breath for a stupid amount of time. And I turn back. Before she's like fully in, she'll like peek her head back out into the hallway where it looks more safer to breathe. And she'll say, this room's covered in spores. I'm going to continue to look, but just don't breathe it in if you come in. And she's going to like open the door wide so that way they can see in and watch her as she moves around in case anything was to happen. And Althea is going to
you can make a nature check.
Look.
You can make a nature check. This will take some time.
Public or blind?
This should be blind.
Alright, that should be on its way. And I'll get you an accurate time of how long I can hold my breath. My breath control.
Right,
Here, I can put that in the chat too.
Before you go any further with the breath control, do you want to use a hero point?
Oh,
You have
yeah.
13.
Yeah, I'll use a hero point.
You basically rolled a 2.
Yeah, so I took the hero point off.
Okay.
And let me re-roll it.
You notice that particularly the spores, as soon as you look at some of the fungus that's on this table close to you, something goes off in your head. Wait a minute, I've heard of this before. This is dangerous. The longer we're in here, the worse the situation. And you kind of sense you need to get out of here quickly. There's something about the spores floating in this room that are not good for those not holding their breath. So, if you want to continue investigating, you can, or vacate the room and tell the others. As Sheppy sticks his head in.
What is it, Althea? What do you see?
I rush. No. I scuffle my feet back to the door and kind of close it and peek my head back into the hallway as I had done before. And I say, it's as I feared. Breathing this in could definitely have a hinder on your health.
Okay, so you're still in the room, but you're sticking your head out of the door into the hallway, you said?
Yeah,
So you're
kind
breathing
of
at this point.
like coming up for air almost, you know?
You start
Just
to
so that I
cough.
can talk.
You start to cough violently. It's starting to get up your nostrils. As soon as you start talking to the others, it's getting to you, Healthy. It's getting to you.
All right. And then I quickly add, I'm going to take another look around, and then I'll be out. I don't think this is a place we should be visiting. And then I take another gulp of fresh air, fresh hallway air, and I return to the room, and I would like to give this room a fairly thorough search as quick as possible. And I can hold my breath up to... So drowning, because that's where it talks about holding your breath, is 5 plus your constitution modifier, so I'm at an 8 in total for that. And with breath control, I can do 25 times 8 rounds.
Okay. Give me fortitude save.
And if I failed that one, I'd like to reroll.
All right. You continue to hold your breath, and you start to look at these, the fungus. Correct? That's what you're really looking at. You're trying to identify it or something, as well as find it.
I'm... So I'm not trying to so much identify the fungi. I'm trying to avoid them as much as possible,
Okay.
but now I'm just looking around the room.
Okay. All right. While holding your breath.
Yeah.
It looks like this was some type of room where they could serve food and have food, but the chairs also in this room look like it was a place for maybe visitors to come in before they meet somebody. A waiting room. That's what it looks like. There doesn't look like there's anything special about the room other than the fungus which is in here, which at this point, this particular fungus can cause what is known as fungal rot, which can take hold of in your lungs as well as in your flesh. You could become winded very easily. It can actually kill you. It's a very dangerous fungus. But so far, you don't feel like you're affected by it, or you might be. Can't be sure, but it's not something you want to linger within. You don't want to be touching and poking nor breathing it, so that you do notice.
In the previous room, did we have a successful night's sleep?
You did.
Okay, I just
forgot
wanted to make
point that
sure.
out. So before we go any further, you got your spell slots and spells back and can do your preparation. Unless you're Agatha, you can get some natural healing. And yeah, that's about it. Agatha, you won't gain anything from natural healing, of course, but you've rested enough to get your slots back.
Yep.
You're a sorcerer, right? Oh no, you're a witch.
Yeah, she's a witch.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah, because she's got a familiar too, a little spider.
yeah, you prepare your spells. So
Spidey.
you can click that prepare spells button on your spell sheet, and that's new spells you can get back. So yeah, you're hanging out with Spidey, chilling, and he's revealing to you all the magical powers that you can learn and be prepared with for the day. Yes. So you can pick spells from that list and drag them to your spellcasting sheet as prepared spells. So yeah, you guys do that before we go any further.
Was I able in my like look around the room? Was I able to find like a source of the fungi?
No.
Like, is it growing more in one area than another? Like an origin, like say, like coming from this door, it's thicker than like over here.
Seems to be congregating where there's furniture and the tables. Like, it's not really on the floor, but all over the surface of the tables and on the chairs, which are along the west wall, by the way. You can see it's just all over that, but it doesn't seem to really be on the floor or the walls or the ceilings. It's just where people might be congregating or have congregated, and it's all growing there, and you can see it in the air. But thankfully, you're holding that breath.
Sure I am.
Do you have your gloves on?
I do.
Okay. You're not really poking at it, I don't think, anyway, but you do know what it is, though. This stuff causes fungus rot.
Fungus rot is a disease, right?
It is.
All right, now I'm fine. I don't care. I've got things to fight that.
You do.
Especially after what we've picked up in the past, I figured it was a very important thing to be able to fight.
You start skipping around. Dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. Plucking little
Picking
spikes.
a bouquet of mushrooms. Look what I brought back for you. Anyway, so seriously, Althea, after she takes a look at the room and realizes that it's like a waiting room of some sorts, and she doesn't find anything worth looking deeper into, other than, of course, that door at the other end, she exits and closes the door behind her. And, of course, being in this clearer space, she'll let her breath go and fill it back up with clean air.
Okay. Let me check something before.
And she says to everybody, don't come too close to me. I don't know if the spores have traveled, but this is a very dangerous room. It has spores that you can contract, something called fungal rot, and she'll ask if anybody's heard of it. Sheppy, I'm sure you've contracted all sorts of things in your lifetime.
Oh, yes.
Have you
Oh,
ever
yes.
heard of fungal rot?
Oh, yes.
And he sits down on the floor and pulls off his boot.
Ew.
See these big, long, green toes, nasty toenails. And he starts squiggling his little toes. See?
Would Agatha have heard of them?
Go ahead and make a recall knowledge nature check.
Okay.
Blind. In other words, you don't get to see the result. Tricky, aren't I?
And you said nature?
Yes.
Well, you know what? I have assurance in nature. I should have just gotten the 20. The 21.
Yeah.
Oh well. Next time.
Could have been a failure. Agatha, you have heard of this.
Okay.
The way she describes it to you. Yes, I agree. That is that fungal rot. We need to keep away from that. That could be fatal. Sheppy might be immune to it.
He's already contracted it twice. Natural
Since-
immunity.
Since Agatha is undead, technically, she wouldn't have to breathe, would she?
Well, look on your character sheet on the left side under immunities and resistances.
Okay.
And if it says disease anywhere in there, like you're immune to disease.
Yeah. Althea also brings up there was another door on the opposite end. It seems like the fungus is growing from the furniture and not so much like from the other door. So if we all hold our breath and cut through Sheppy without touching anything, he looks right at him. We can probably cut across. Now, when I was in there, did it look like anything had been disturbed, like as if Arthurian had come through here?
That you couldn't tell. I mean,
Okay.
they might have, but there's no way to really tell.
Yeah, Althea finds it hard to believe if they had. But she'll bring up to Agatha. I still think it's something we could investigate. This fungus is just another blight on the gauntlet. But
Does a little soft shoe.
yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Agatha's gonna look at Althea and just shake her head.
You can go ahead and make a performance check, public, and see how effective you were at making people chuckle.
Well, I think we could just take the real life response
Okay.
as a failure.
Right over the head. Alright, so what's your plan here? You want to hold your breath and rush across the room? Or do you have some other plan? You're not sure if they went that way. They could have went the other way, but there is a doorway in that chamber that you didn't investigate.
Yeah. Althea has intentions to go through that door. She's just checking with Sheppy and Agatha. Do you guys think this is a good idea? And if I go, would you follow me? And of course, Sheppy, you're in front, so you get to go through it first.
Oh, sure, put me in there. I'm with you, Althea.
And he moves up to the door, getting ready to peer in.
Are we ready?
Puts his hand over his nose.
Come on, I'm gonna suffocate. Let's go.
He pushes
All right,
the door
Agatha,
open.
what do you say? All right, Sheppy's already running through.
He disappears into the chamber. Agatha, I assume you follow behind.
She grabs a hold of Althea and she just runs.
Alright, runs. Okay, up to that door.
Yeah, Althea holds her breath. Sheppy, is the door locked?
Oh no.
And then the door opens. Alright, he gets the door open.
Come quick, step in.
Sheppy's gonna have to make a savings throw. While he was in the chamber, he took his fingers off his nose. Well, he held his nose, but he was talking, so he's gonna make a savings throw. Go ahead and make a blind savings
Fortitude.
throw. Fortitude.
All right, Sheppy. So sorry if this doesn't do it. Oh, you're... It's got a good fortitude.
Okay. And you all make it across the room quickly. Agatha, you can see the spores in the air. Particularly as you move swiftly in the room, the air current is moving and you can see them in the flickering light. There is definitely a room full of spores in this room hanging out. Are you immune to disease, Agatha?
I just had it pulled up.
You should be. No. You're not that powerful of a creature yet. You
You gain a plus one circumstance bonus to saving throws or any other defense against disease and poison.
Well, it would be under immunities. Your own thing you're immune to is death effects. It would say disease. As you get more powerful, you'll probably get that immunity to disease. But yeah, you do get saves.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
things. But that's how that works. So, you all make your way through there and shut the door behind you. Slam. Now, this looks like another kind of a rectangular room. The only exit is in the southwest corner there. You can see along the wall there. It's a big 10-foot wide exit. You can
Are there any spores in here?
You don't see any spores.
Okay.
You do see lots of rubble. You can see where the walls have kind of fallen in on the corridor, damaged. And you see in the far wall there to the west, you see what looks like a chain, a manacle, just hanging out, being chill there. But you don't see anything else. As you round the corner, you can see what looks like a small hole along the east wall. You also see another chain right here. Now, they're not chained to the wall. They're not attached to the walls. They're just loose chains. It looks something like manacles, like something was held here and threw the chains off or something. You're not sure. They're rusty. They're old. But you also see what looks like a little hole in the floor right there, right where your mouse is.
Like how little?
The hole?
Yeah.
It's just like it's on the map. So, maybe 2 foot.
Oh, I don't see a hole. I see like a scomp.
Trying to see what this is. Yeah, it's a little hole. It's very similar to the hole you saw in that one chamber with the bouncing creatures.
Ah.
It's kind of got these spikes like teeth pointing towards the center of the hole. But you could easily jump in if you wanted to, but you wouldn't get out too easy. Looks like something, maybe they would throw refuse down there or something. Maybe the teeth are on there to keep anything from coming up. I don't know.
With the way they're angled.
Yeah.
Alright,
That's
let's
one
step
idea.
aside. We step around it.
Stepping around
Get a
it,
wide berth.
hugging the west wall, you round the corner, and you see a platform up ahead. It looks like a sunken floor all around this platform, 15 feet ahead.
Agatha, what do you make of all this? Are those stairs leading upwards?
Looks like it, though begs the question. What is that leading down to?
The sunken part here, does it look like it used to have water in there?
No.
No?
As you step out from the corridor behind you, you see a much wider corridor, hallway. To the north, you see a set of steps ascending. You are above it. Where you're currently located, directly in front of you, going to the west, you see what looks like a bridge. You are standing on the entry point of that bridge. Right there. It's about 20 foot wide. And below that, you see another floor. And as you peek over the railing, which is rusted and broken, where you stand, you can see that sunken floor. Above is a vaulted ceiling, maybe 20 feet high, 40 feet from the ground. Well, let me take that back, clarify. The floor is about 20 feet from where you're currently standing. Another 20 feet above you is the ceiling. So it's about a 40-foot from the ground level high in this room. You see exits to the west. You see a number of exits to the west. You see this hallway itself continues south. To the north, you see those steps that ascend. Now, you have low light vision, correct?
I do, yeah.
It ascends to what looks like a doorway. Right up here where I'm pinging, you'll see there's a doorway up there. I don't know if you can see it or not, since we got the party token on the map.
Yeah, at the very top.
But other than that, you're on this narrow, maybe 5 foot wide walkway that overlooks this hallway below, 20 feet below. You're currently at a bridge that crosses this hallway. What do you do? Would you prefer your tokens out? I'll bring your tokens out so you can kind of navigate this area on your own.
Is there a way I could specifically check for traps?
Yes, you'd have to describe
Albie
it.
is a little paranoid coming across this bridge. Because that is quite a fall. It's a 20-foot drop from the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let me put you out here, Agatha, so you can see. But Althea, you're not actually on the bridge yet, unless you want to go there. So this is what you see.
Looks like all of this kind of branches off into something further.
And if you can hear the ambient sounds, I don't know if you have the volume up on that. There is clues in there, keep that in mind, of what this place sounds like. May or may not be important, but just so you know. Well, since you said that...
Yeah, now I'm like, oh no, let me listen. Because I did notice it was sounded quite odd.
I have it turned up so I hear it loud and clear.
And what do you hear, Agatha? In the distance, what do you hear?
It's hard to describe. It sounds like possible hissing, almost like a cat, but it's not natural
All right.
in sound.
Let me read
Like-
you. Let me read this to you. And try and
Yeah,
paraphrase.
I think I know what's coming up.
This is what
I
you
can
get.
take the hints.
This is what you get when you step into this hallway near this bridge. This is what you can see. It looks like a stately hallway stretching north to south. You see a single door to the north, in fact, above these descending or ascending steps. To you, they would be descending. And a wide exit to the south. What looks like an exit. I mean, it just goes on and on as far as you can see, so. But it doesn't seem to be any door. Frescoes. Frescoes depicting powerful creatures in battle. In battle with each other, they adorn the walls. You can see them. Strange creatures. Above, you see what looks like pinpoints of light glimmering like little stars. You can tell right away that these pinpoints of light actually are illuminating this hallway, just slightly, a pale radiance. Balconies run the length of the hallway. You're on the top floor. This is where those balconies are. About 20 feet above the floor. The railings, the rusty, low railings in front of you that run along these balconies, this where you guys are, these little 5-foot passages to the north and south. Balconies. They have these rusty metal railings on them. They seem to be twisted in places, however, like if something large was working its way through or grabbing hold of these railings. The stone bridge before you connects the balconies together, the ones on the west from the east, providing you access to the tunnels out of the hallway. Looking more to the south, you see what looks like a cluster of several badly damaged statues. This is on the floor. Perhaps decorations along its wall are these statues. So from where you're standing, that's what you see. Right? But you don't see the exit in the south. You see what looks like some statues, but that's about it. Sheppy, looking to the south.
Yes, I could see the exit. It's down there. Strange statues are down there. I could see them.
He has a better description of what lies ahead. It looks like further to the south, beyond the radiance of your light, he can describe. It looks like the passage, this southerly passage, opens up into a much bigger area. In fact, he can see well down here. It's quite big and vast. He can't see its floor, however. But it seems to be lit. Like glowing fires, torches perhaps, lie well beyond the passage to the south. Okay? So, if you want, you can cross this bridge and get to the other side. There seems to be another hallway opposite from where you are. In fact, 2 of them. Or perhaps you can head to the north and maybe climb down and get to those steps which lead to a doorway to the north, or the floor to its south. Doesn't really seem to be a convenient way to get down, except these steps to the north. You could kind of hop down on those steps and then get down to the floor level. That's what I'm saying, right here. Okay. So, that's what you see, and those are your options at this stage. Do you have any other questions?
Oh boy.
Arthurian!
Sheppy kind of hollows out, shouts out softly, and it echoes through the whole chamber.
Agatha quickly runs over to Sheppy, slaps a hand over his mouth.
What are you doing? We're trying to find them, the dwarf.
Listen to the sounds.
I don't like the sound of that. Let's try to be quiet. Which direction do you think they would have gone in, or where do you want to head?
It's up to you. I don't know what to do now.
What do you think, Agatha? So, you do hear sounds coming from the south. Some of those sounds you hear in the ambience do actually come from the south. strange hissing noises, perhaps, where the statues are located. Could be just the echoes, you don't know, but that's what you're sensing. I'm going to roll some dice because you're dithering. Dithering!
If I was checking for traps on the bridge,
Okay.
if I didn't find anything with that roll, then she's going to just cross to the other side and quietly kind of take a look in the section over here.
Okay. While you're doing this, you don't notice anything unusual. You do see some broken stone to the north and things like that, but there doesn't seem to be anything odd or like a tripwire or a plate in the flooring. Nothing.
No giant blades
No blades.
stationed at the top waiting to be released and
No blades.
slice me to bits.
Slice you to bits. Nothing. And you begin to work your way across the bridge. Agatha, what are you doing at this stage? You following closely behind?
She would actually put Sheppy in front of her as she's still taking up the rear. She's still sustaining her shield.
Yes.
Though glancing behind her from time to time to see if she can see anything.
Come closer, Agatha. We'll look through together. You look south. I'll look north. And Sheppy, make sure nothing gets us from behind. I really don't like the sound of what I hear. Nothing. The only good thing that hisses is the teapot when the water's ready for tea time. The only acceptable hissing noise.
Agatha does not look amused.
All right, as you step out onto this bridge, it's about 20 foot wide. And Althea, you're leading the party tonight. You get to the other opposite end, and as you turn around to see if your companions are following behind, you see their silhouettes shadowed on the floor below. It's quite unsettling as they kind of slowly make their way towards you. Just then you hear something. You hear something you've heard before, Althea. You hear a scream, followed by the clash of steel and a sickening thud. Agatha, you hear this as well. Sheppy, you freeze in place. Well, Sheppy freezes in place. Something ahead, to the north. You hear it. Perhaps the sound of battle. You're not sure. You kind of get nervous. And that's where we're going to take a break. All right, we're going to take a 5-10 minute break, and then we're going to come back and find out what's waiting for Althea as she leads the party to certain victory, I am sure. All right? We're going to take a 5-minute break, folks, as we get all settled in here. We're going to see what lies ahead. So, let's go to intermission. Okay, folks, we'll be right back. And we're back. Part 2 of tonight's session, Fantasticals, I say. We're about to see what lies ahead for Althea. Not sure. So yes, you've crossed over this stone bridge, the stone walkway. 20 foot below is the floor. Before you, Althea, is a 20-foot wide corridor, the same as the one you came out of, that continues on to the west. You see more chains on the floor ahead. The strange hissing noises and sounds continue. Just then, piercing this momentary silence, you hear that sound of steel and a sickening thud. I'm not sure what it is, but it sounds familiar. It sounds like fighting. What do you do?
And we've heard the screams, or we can hear that struggle and fighting.
Yes, and then it stops.
I can't tell if that's Arthurian, but if there was a fight to be had, he'd be in it.
That's right. He has a death wish, you know.
He turns to Agatha. Agatha, what do you think? You heard it too. Actually, Agatha, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Best if we be cautious and slowly approach. It may be them, it may not be, it may be something else entirely. We don't know.
Okay, if you'd like to make stealth blind rolls, you can do that if you're being particularly sneaky. But of course, Althea, with your magical light emanating the group, it's not going to be very effective.
Agatha, if you want to travel ahead, sneak your way and try to get a glimpse of what's happening ahead of Sheppy and I, and then come back, I can send you a message mentally, and we can communicate.
Binley.
Oh, there's also Binley, but
Yeah, you
I
can't
also
see.
have message cantrip, but nonetheless, Althea is suggesting Agatha stealthily makes her way. Well, of course, we head down to that first level, and she'll make her way. Meanwhile, Althea, with the light, stays back, and will mentally communicate.
All right.
Is that okay, Agatha? Are you up for some stealthing around? This way we don't just run head first into whatever's waiting for us.
I can do that.
I'll unpause the game, Agatha, if you want to move your token or where you're heading. You can do that. Okay. So you're heading to the west. Tiptoe.
Oh, I meant like hopping down here and then
Oh,
going
okay.
down the center.
Kind of threw me off too. I thought you were going to head west.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right.
Wait, actually, you know what? No, Althea sees Agatha head down the corridor, and she'll be like, "Oh, I had something else in mind, but maybe you're onto something here. Keep going. What do you see?"
Make up your mind, Althea. Gosh.
All right, Sheppy, you can leave. Althea's nervous enough as it is, and the pressure from Sheppy. She's breaking.
Yeah, he starts to crawl over the side of the wall there, dangling.
Help, Althea. Help. I can't climb. It's too far.
And he's dangling
Maybe
from the
you'll
side.
think twice before your comment. No, that's very unlike Althea. She would lift him up as best she could.
All right, he's just a little guy. You're little too, though.
Yeah.
But that's
All right,
okay.
Agatha.
All right, Agatha, you begin to stealthily move, stealthily as in tiptoeing,
Mhm.
down the corridor. You don't hear anything. But you can see from the position you're at. I'm going to move you a little further than I should, so you can see as you peer around the corner. I don't know how much you can see. Let me click your token and see. Yeah, you can't see anything.
Nope.
But you can tell that the corridor bends to the south, and there's a set of steps that descend. You can't see what lies below. Now, for the momentary silence that you hover there, in that silence, what do you do? Do you listen?
She does.
You can make me a blind perception roll just to see how much you can hear at this stage. You still hear the sounds behind you of this strange noises, hissing. So it might be difficult to hear down this corridor. Doesn't sound like anything coming from this corridor.
Then she'll tiptoe quietly back to the group. I couldn't hear anything. There is apparently a stairs going down south, but I can't see anything going down those stairs.
Maybe I should go. I could see in the darkness. You wait here.
Sheppy begins
Be
to
careful,
step forward.
Sheppy.
Of course.
And go ahead and make a stealth roll for Sheppy, because he's definitely trying to be quiet here as he moves up to these steps. I want to see how sneaky he is. Okay. Can you see him on the map, Althea?
Yes, I can.
All right. Barely, or is he fully lit? You got low light, so you should see him pretty good.
He's fully lit.
Yeah, okay. Let me see. You can see him kind of keeping his back pressed against the wall. He's trying his best to be sneaky, but as he's moving, he's sliding along the wall, and you can hear him. It's quite obvious that he's sliding along the wall. And then he stops, and he peers down to the south. And he jolts straight up. And he starts to look left and right, a little bit nervous. He looks back towards you, Althea, and he begins to run. You can hear his feet slap the stone, but he's actually got little boots on. He runs over.
There's bodies down there. I saw them below the steps. I don't know if there's any movement down there. What do we do, Althea?
You're the leader now, Althea.
Yeah, I guess so. But bodies like the ones south of here, or like flesh-toned bodies, or gray.
They look like humans. It didn't look like the dwarf. I don't know who they were. They look like they're dead, Althea. What do we do?
Calm down, Sheppy. It's not a good sign, but we'll make it through. We have to somehow figure a way around here, and... Can I make a... I guess if the noise has stopped, I just want to try to pinpoint where that noise, the fights, the sounds of battle were coming from. If it's coming from... Like, if it's just an echo that's too generalized, I can't pinpoint it, or...
Alright. Those steps seem to be the source. They most likely seem to be the source. You heard the sound of what sounded like battle, fighting, screams. There was a clash of steel and thuds. And it seemed to be coming in the direction where Sheppy just was. Now, he verified there's bodies up there. He doesn't see a battle, but he saw bodies laying about, a few bodies. Maybe 4 or 5 or 6 bodies spread around at the foot of the steps.
Well, that's very suspicious if there are bodies, but no source. I guess the only way we'll know how they died is if we investigate the bodies ourselves. I can't help but think maybe this is a trap.
If it makes you feel more comfortable, I'll go first.
Frey, all you know is a searing pain in your abdomen. You are surrounded in blackness. You feel wet, covered in perspiration, or worse. Agatha. Althea. You're heading towards the steps?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the news that Sheppy brought us, definitely.
Fully lit.
There, Althea, look below.
There you see, about 15 feet down below this set of steps, under what looks like another walkway, bridge, you see a bunch of bodies. There's 4 of them that you can see. They all look human, motionless. You also see one that looks sickly. It looks like it has an arm extending from its back. Grotesque sight. This is what you see at the bottom of this steps, like as if there was some battle here. It's a mere 15 feet from you, at the bottom of these steps, right where I pinged. You don't see any movement, no motion. What do? You see this clearly as your magical light is fully displaying the scene.
I'm going to investigate the closest body, so I'm going to head down the stairs.
All right, how about right here?
Okay.
All right, you descend the steps, and you see it's like a T intersection. The steps at the top of the T, and then east and west, and then further south. You see ruins coming from the walls, just fallen in parts of the walls, scattered here and there. The closest body is, it looks like a human, dressed in robes, blue and red robes. Somewhat familiar, but you don't know who it is. The body seems lifeless and covered in blood. Looking to your left, you see another body. Looks like a warrior, perhaps someone. No, wait, yes. You recognize the tabard of the Otari guard. That's strange. What would the guard be doing here? But you've seen it many times, seeing Lofter especially. But it's not Lofter. It's not anyone you've known. Someone with a rough beard, and you see cuts along the face and the forehead and the flesh. You see he has a particularly nasty wound on his left side. There is another body close near him, further south, but this body looks very grotesque. This was the body with an arm extending from its back. It's a sickly-looking creature. This is a creature you have seen before, Althea. When you first entered these lower caverns, near the great hole in the abyss that led to what was like the abyss, you were ambushed by several creatures that looked just like this. You'll never forget it. There was 2 of them that were trying to kill you. Consume you. Another body lies further south. Looks like a... Can't really tell. Looks like a hooded person. A human, it seems, about that size. But you can't really tell. You'd have to move in close. But from where you stand, you see this grotesque body. You see what looks like a red and blue robed dead human. And also close by, to the west, you see what looks like a warrior. You'd have to get closer to any of those other bodies to investigate. Now, Agatha, what are you doing? Althea's headed down the steps.
Agatha's close behind her.
Okay. You're right here. Directly in front of you is a body of what looks like someone in chainmail armor. And a tabard you've seen before. It's the Otari guard.
Be careful, Althea.
Sheppy steps down the steps. What do you do, Althea?
And I take a look around the hallway. She sees these people, and she's just very suspicious as she's been walking around. The hissing is just echoing through the hallways, and so she's trying to be on her toes and on guard.
All right, just to verify, you can see your token on the map, correct, Althea?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I messed up. There is no corridor going to the left and right. That corridor exists, but it's above you on the walkway.
Oh yeah, that's above us. Yeah.
So that's really a solid wall from where you are. As you descended the steps, it's actually a solid wall. The walkway is above you. I described that weird. So right here is the walkway above you. Okay.
That's right. Foundry's got your back.
So you could investigate the bodies, verify they're dead. You have 3 bodies immediately around you. Althea, a grotesque creature. You probably don't want to poke that too much. But the robed guy and the warrior are right next to you. You're not sure if they're alive. Agatha, same with you.
I guess
Agatha-
she check the. Wait. Well, what's Agatha gonna do?
What are you going to do, Agatha?
Agatha's gonna check the body in front of her just to make sure it's either dead or if it's like barely alive and
As you
it
kneel
could do
down
damage.
next to the body, you take hold of his left arm, and you can see that there is wounds and gashes along it. He doesn't have a weapon in sight, except on his back it looks like a bow, but he does have chain armor on his torso. He's breathing. But he is unconscious. What do you do?
Agatha's immediately gonna tell Althea to her upper left. Althea, this one's still alive.
What? Oh God, poor thing! Quick, bring him to me. And she'll immediately take out her toolkit and begin treating his wounds.
All right, make a medicine check. Public. Are you an expert in medicine yet?
I sure am.
Oh, you can take a 20 DC if you want. Too late.
Oh yeah, you're right. I could have. That's all right.
Too late.
Yeah, too late.
That is a critical success. You're quite effective at this, Althea, as you would be. Go ahead and do 4d8 healing. Roll that.
He heals 18.
Oops. I'm not whispering. Get out of here. Frey, your eyes begin to open. You feel hands upon you, especially near the pain on your torso. You feel the wound. You grimace.
Did I come in here alone?
I'll
Or were
fill in.
those my friends that are dead around me?
You'll see in a second.
Okay.
But for
So
the
that will
moment,
determine my action.
you should be able to see your token on the map. Do you?
kind of subdued. Yes.
Yeah, that's you right there. So you want to click on that. Not double click, but just click on it. And your eyes begin to open. The darkness begins to fade, and there you see a pair of eyes, a gnome, looking down at you. And Althea, you see this in return. He's awake. You've bound his wounds. The bleeding has stopped. He looks okay. Agatha, you see this as well.
Who is he, Althea? He's alive.
Who are you?
Who are you? Are you a guard of Otari?
Surely you must be a guard. These clothes that you wear.
Very observant.
Here, let me help you some more. You're not quite well, and Agatha, check on the others. Maybe they're alive too. I'm gonna use my healer's gloves on Frey.
Okay, put that in the chat so I know what that does.
Yes. And you'll see in the description I put when I last used it because it's once per day. So I haven't used it yet because it is toil day or possibly the day after since we did rest. But I would like to use those. So I'm going to soothe the wounds. Is Frey willing?
Frey's confused.
Alright, well, if you're confused, you can't say no. Alright. Now hold still. Let the magic do the work. And you'll heal an additional 14.
So here's how this works. Now, most of the time you won't need your character sheet open, Max, but if you click once on your token, right-click it, and you'll see a little display appear around your token, right?
Yes.
The bottom one where it says 18, that's your hit points.
Okay.
If you double-click it so that it's highlighted, double left-click it, and then on your keyboard put plus 14, then hit enter. It will automatically add the 14 to your hit points.
Oh, okay.
That's a quick way to do that. There, you're at 32 now. So, yeah, you've got some healing there. Fantastic.
Thank you, whoever you are.
My name's Althea, and other than a guard, who might you be?
Frey, and I'm not a guard.
Oh, then why do you wear these, what is the vestments, or?
What's with the questions?
Well, surely you meet a stranger in the deep depths of the gauntlet.
Can you ask him what he's wearing?
Sure. Oh, you can tell a lot from a person by what they wear. And then she shows off her own garment. And you can clearly see that she follows a goddess. And there's detailed butterflies, and she has her holy symbol slightly out of sight, but you can still see it through, the layerings of her clothing. If you're familiar with any gods and goddesses, you would see it to be Desna, the goddess of, travel and dreams. And luck, of course.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate what you did for me here. So thank you. Name's Frey. And I came down here for my own purposes, but no, I am no longer a guard.
You're not in any trouble with Otari, are you?
Not anymore.
Well, I suppose that's a relief to hear. But I suppose I should introduce you to the others, because it seems like we might be, unless you feel you're equipped to travel alone, which you're more than welcome to, but if you feel that you can walk with us, although we tend to find danger and trouble around every corner. But this
I've
here
been
is...
doing that well enough myself.
So you're well aware. This, and Althea points to Agatha. This is Agatha.
Nice to meet you.
Agatha eyeballs him for a second before nodding, and then she goes back to checking the other bodies to see if they're dead.
And of course you've met Sheppy.
Now, as far as the bodies are concerned, Agatha, this one too seems lifeless. It's a hooded human. He does have a long sword on his side. And a pack. Sheppy immediately jumps on that pack and starts looting around.
Let's see what's in here. I think I know what this is.
And he's going to find something nifty. But Agatha, at that point, Althea mentions your name and you turn about. And you see, trying to stand, this warrior who's kind of braced against the wall, rising, introduce himself.
Agatha, is there any luck with the others?
Agatha shakes her head. Dead.
I'm sorry, Frey, but your companions seems they're lost. Another victim to the gauntlet.
Sure, it was inevitable.
You
It's
could
more of a stoic face that I'm putting on, by the way, than me actually being like, yeah, whatever.
I imagine. Well, we found another cold-hearted jerk.
Death wish.
Yeah.
No, not another one, says Sheppy.
He doesn't
So
even
what
have
for-
a sword. And when he says
So
that,
I hate to ask you another question. All right, never mind. What's Sheppy saying?
and as he mentions he doesn't even have a sword, your hand immediately goes to your waist, and you notice you don't have your sword. You remember when you came down here, you did have a sword. You have nothing for a weapon except that bow on your back.
What we were fighting, if any of them have swords, I don't care if it's rusty. I'll just, if there's one near, I'm going to limp towards it and try to grab
Okay.
one that's just usable.
Yeah, there is a long sword. It's on the other body here near Agatha, the one over here, so I'll get you a long sword. He does have one. Now, regarding you, Frey, it all starts coming back to you. Memories. As the others are talking around you, and it starts to come back. What happened? What am I doing here? What happened to the others? And it's up to you to share this or not with the others. It's up to you. But you recall that this individual you met named Grad, you joined him, or he joined you, to enter the gauntlet. Maybe a day prior. You journeyed through it, the upper levels, and you descended even further. There wasn't much here. You saw lots of bodies, death and decay. You heard howls of wolves in the background, but there was nothing. There was no treasure. There was no foes, but certainly something is here. Something compels you to be here, but only you know that. Until you got to where you are, you remember a scream. You remember shadows coming alive. You remember seeing this grotesque, clawed creatures that looked slightly bigger than humans, but broad and sickly. They had mutations on their body, and they seemed to mindlessly come at you and the others. You were ambushed. It was terrible. It was brutal. First, it was Ismanis who fell, the robed individual. Someone of magical ability, if you recall. He was the first to fall, and you looked down in front of Althea. You could see his lifeless body before you as the creatures tore into him. Grad was in full battle mode. with his axe out and his shield. He was going at what looked like 2 more of these grotesque creatures. More screams of battle. He fought on. So did you. You drew your sword. Behind you, one grabbed you and raked your flesh on the back. You turned to fight it and fend off its attacks. You did so. And all you remember was a piercing pain near your abdomen. And everything went black, and you collapsed to the ground. Now, you awaken. New eyes are upon you. You recognize the body of Ismanus. You also see Aldalor, who is also lifeless. Aldalor is the hooded individual. You now have his sword in your hand. Frey.
Okay.
Your sword has gone missing. You see one of the creatures, probably felled by Grad, also here. You can recognize the wounds and cuts in it from an axe. You don't see any of the other creatures. But you also don't see Grad. He's nowhere to be found. This is what you recall as you waken.
Okay. I'd like to go over to Ismanus's body.
Okay.
If I could. Go over there, just make sure that anything on him that would be necessary. I'm not stealing his gold or anything weird like that. If there anything on there that'd be necessary for us to move forward. Or dog tags.
Nothing like that. You don't really know these individuals that well. They were someone Grad had met at one of the taverns and invited you to join in, which you jumped at the chance to do so. They were going to the Gauntlet. Without question, you joined him. But you do find a pack of rations. I think on your equipment sheet, it's one of the pages there. I think it's called inventory or equipment. It looks like a little cardboard box. If you click that,
Okay.
you can see what you actually have. You might have some rations.
I'm doing this the right way.
Sheppy, Althea, did manage to find some lock-picking tools from the body. So if you want to add those to Sheppy's inventory, because he'd be quite happy to have them.
Regular lock picking tools.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
See if you can find those. And let me see if I could find a longsword in here. I evidently didn't import this stuff. I have to go to the compendium. Longsword. There it is. Let me see if I can add this to your character sheet, Frey, so you got a longsword. Let's see. There it is. You should see a longsword there. I'm gonna have you holding it.
Yep.
Okay. So now you got a weapon. You also need chain mail. Sorry. Did you find that, Althea? Chain mail.
Oh, there it is.
And worn as armor. Boom. So your armor class will go up now. You do have that. I forgot to put it on your sheet. Which isn't much, but working for the Otari Guard didn't pay very much. And for whatever reason, you're no longer employed there. But you have what you have. You have a few coins and whatever else is on your person. You did manage to get your hands on an elixir of life. Healing potion, basically. 2 of them, actually. You have them, which is appropriate for you. But, yeah. So what you have on your sheet is what you got. Short bow, long
right.
sword, so on.
Well, I'm looking at Ismas's body. Just again, I'm only looking for anything, said like dog tags, classified material, whatever. I'm looking around for directions that Grodd could have gone in, and I'm just gonna whisper, he wouldn't have left me here.
Okay. While you do that, go ahead and make a blind perception roll.
All right. Let's see if I remember how to do that.
You can
So
either
while
do
he's kind of looting the bodies, I'm also going to be giving them like final rites and saying a little prayer for the fallen.
Okay. Would you like to make a performance check? Eyes are upon you, Althea. No, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, it's not so much a performance, more like a daily job ritual, that sort of thing. She does this stuff in her sleep.
Yeah. Do you have any focus magic stuff? You can use that refocus to do this. If you needed to refocus.
She does, but we got it back when we rested, and we haven't needed to use anything since.
How about you, Agatha? You doing anything?
If she hears Althea trying to do the last rites and kind of does her, she's going to guess priestly duty, she's gonna step away out of both respect and also because she doesn't want to possibly get hit with positive damage if she tries to do something.
Yeah, stand clear of the holy symbols. I'm sure she pulled one out. Big butterfly symbol. Okay, so you're down there with Sheppy. You see a set of double doors ahead. Now, Frey, what were you doing again?
You're having me roll a perception check. I think I figured it out.
There's two ways to do it. One is the HUD display, the token HUD, and one is to open your character sheet.
I've got it up the character sheet, and it looks like it's saying blind GM roll. That's what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep.
Ching! Big orange die hits the table. Okay. There's no way to tell if there's any tracks of Grodd or anyone else. You do see the occasional sickly foot drag in the dust and debris, but they don't lead anywhere. These creatures are obviously hiding in the shadows, perhaps mindlessly standing here for a long period of time. Hard to tell. You cannot find any tracks. Now, one other thing I should tell you is that you do recall the direction of travel you were taking was from the north. You had descended these steps when you were ambushed. So you don't know what lies to the south. Other than that, your journey through the Gauntlet so far has been relatively uneventful, other than what I described earlier. There was no encounters, nothing. You didn't expect this attack.
Gnome, what was your name again?
And she clears her throat. I don't know if I should answer to that, but human. My name is Althea.
Noted. Which way did you come from?
We came from the top of the stairs.
Were you traveling south from the north?
Do you speak in riddle?
No.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, obviously we were following somebody, and I'm guessing that was you. Before we got ambushed. And if I'm wrong in that, well, I'm wrong. I'm guessing you haven't gone further ahead either. Again, if I'm wrong, please clarify that. I need to know.
We've only just reached this area. We're actually in search of other companions. A dwarf named Arthurian and I believe Lofter's a human, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. A human, you might know him as he often works at the guard in the garrison. His name's Lofter.
And you would
And then
recognize
there's-
Lofter as,
He was the sergeant, right?
yeah, he was a guy who led patrols and stuff throughout town. He's pretty well known.
I know of him, but I didn't work with him a lot.
Okay.
I'm looking for Grod.
Do I know who that is?
No. Never heard of him.
Do you have a description for this person?
Big guy. Looks kind of like me, but bigger. Captain.
You're actually, other than our own companions, you're the first person we've seen that isn't out to kill us. You're not out to kill us, are you? She takes a step back.
It's not my intention, but
Oh.
I pat my pocket. Is there a lump there?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. Oh, you're talking
Okay.
about that. No, I take that
Yeah.
back. Yes, you do have that.
Okay.
I was thinking of a coin purse, but no, you don't keep it in a coin purse. That's
No. I have it on an inside pocket.
mhm.
After a couple slaps on my chest there, I have no intention of killing anybody. I probably couldn't right now anyway.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have not seen your friend. Rod, was it?
Yes. Captain Grod.
Oh, a captain. Yeah. We have not, but I hope that he is well. If you think that he might be nearby, we can help you look. We're both looking for people. If it's led us down here, maybe they're at the same place.
Very well.
And I believe we were heading south to the doors just below here.
Well, I came from the north and there's nothing there but dead bodies and empty rooms, so south is the only logical direction.
Right, what do you think, Agatha? You seem deep in thought.
Sorry, thinking. Well, if your friend Grod is not here, and
Then that means he's alive and probably ahead.
but did you not just say that he would not leave you alone?
Well, Agatha, we said the same thing about Arthurian, yet here we are running after him.
Agatha shoots Althea a glance before she looks back at Frey. She goes,
Now this shrugs, like, what did I say?
Agatha keeps her gaze on Frey, and she goes, "You just said that your friend would not leave you, and yet they're gone."
I swing the sword a couple of times just to make sure that the sword isn't going to fall out of the hilt. Make sure it's usable. And with that, I nod to both of them, and I slowly start stepping, forward as to go south. I make my intention quite clear.
Without saying a word. Oh.
Yeah, Agatha is not letting him go so easily. Agatha's gonna take a step right in front of his path, like standing still. She goes, "You're not leaving until we get an answer."
Am I a prisoner?
Why were you down here in the first place?
That is a longer story than I have time to tell right now.
Well, clearly we're all looking for people that were part of our groups.
Yes.
So either you could be a potential ally or you could be possible threat. Which one are you?
You healed me. I thanked you for it. I have not attacked you in kind. I think we know what the answer to that is.
Then you're
I would-
staying with us.
I would like, if in strength in numbers, if possible, yes. I'm stepping in front because that's what I do. I don't think either of you want to be in the front.
While this conversation is happening, Althea, you hear something. You hear sliding footsteps coming from behind you, coming from up the steps. Sheppy turns abruptly and hears it too. The rest of you hear nothing in the conversation.
Well, this has been lovely, but I don't think we should stay in one place for too long. If we're gonna go through these doors, we should go. Otherwise, brace yourself if we need to turn back. There may be something behind us. Perhaps more of those abominations. And she looks back at the one with the arm in the back. Now, Frey's agreed to join us. I don't see any harm. And should Frey try to deceive us in any type of way, I think he's a bit outnumbered just by Sheppy alone. And she doesn't reveal, like, Sheppy's capabilities, but she just, like, hints that Sheppy could take him down. And he even admitted that he isn't equipped. So, let us travel forth. I'm going to take a quick listen at the door.
You step out towards the double doors, great double doors. And as your ear presses against the cold wood, it's then that you hear it. It's then that you hear Sheppy in the back.
Look out!
Looking in the direction behind you, coming down the steps, you hear it clearly now. It sounds very familiar to all of you. You've heard this before. And there, descending the steps, you see these sickly creatures
Oh, please no. Not these
slowly
guys again.
coming towards you, their eyes looking in your direction. Frey, you recognize them. You fought these once before. Suddenly you hear a moan coming from above you on the walkway. Your eyes look up, and there you see not one, but two more of these creatures over your heads, and they look like they're about to jump and descend. And with that, we're going to go to the initiative tracker. Before we go any further, right-click the little fist icon in the upper right, Max. You'll see it pop out. That's the encounter tracker. You'll see that tracker has your name, and it has a big die next to your name. Click that die. That's going
Okay,
to be
hold on
your,
1 second.
that's going to be
Fist?
your perception roll.
Okay.
And the dice are flying. Althea, you saw these creatures immediately. Your eyes were drawn not only behind you on the steps where Sheppy is not far, but above you, on that walkway, 20 feet above. You see two more of the creatures begin to appear. You're up. What do you do, Althea?
So I'll play through one round, but I'm actually like 20 minutes over when, or
One round.
actually
That's
53 minutes over when I
That's
said
fine.
I thought I was gonna have to go. So,
That's fine. That's okay. It is a special holiday. I forgive you.
so if she's first up, she's gonna open that door.
Your hand grabs the latch, that'll be one, and it doesn't budge.
It's barred. It's locked. Something.
What else do you do? Didn't expect that, did
That
you?
was just the one door.
Well, it's both of them. They're not
Okay.
budging.
I'm like, you're gonna make me use 2 actions to try both doors. Alright, so after she jiggles the door handle trying to get through, she whips around and she rapidly just yells out to everybody, "This is a dead end. Unless any of you can brush through it, we might have to fight." And from there, she's going to just cast Electric Arc,
Oh boy.
targeting both of the creatures.
Okay, go ahead and roll that. Roll your damage, and I'll roll the save here.
14 electricity damage.
Ooh. Ouch. 14, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Immediately you whip about and the electricity begins to form between your hands and you shoot it towards these creatures that are coming down the set of steps. It just strikes the one on the right. You can hear the crackle sounds and the smell of burning. It writhes in pain as the arc shoots to the one right next to it who also writhes in pain. The first one really took it. But you're done. Frey, you see this. You see this electricity cut through the air towards these creatures you've seen before. Quite impressed, I would imagine you are, with this magical ability of this gnome. You're up. What do you do?
Yep, I do a second look at the gnome, like, okay. I'd like to go to the goblin since he's right next to me. Not violently, but grab him by the back of the armor, neck, horse collar, whatever, and kind of drag him towards the door and say, open that thing, while I keep my sword out, and I will step forward to the square ahead of me.
Okay. No resistance comes from the goblin. He's quite impressed by your authority, and he moves his way towards the door. Well, actually, he would be about here. He wouldn't actually move yet. But you did that successfully. And what were you doing? You were moving towards the...
I was going to step forward one and make myself the barricade.
Okay. So you step forward over the rocks with your sword in your hand, ready to take on these creatures. All right. Okay, we're going to go to one of these creatures. Let's see where that is. Up above you, this one creature dives down. Not really dives, but just drops right in the space with Sheppy, from almost hitting him. So he's actually in that space. And he continues to move. He's going to take some damage from the fall. He doesn't fall to the ground prone, but he does take some damage, a sickly sound of flesh hitting stone. It almost catches Sheppy, but you pulled him away just in time, Frey. Now, you have an opportunity to strike this creature.
Oh, I'm
Is it
trained, so yes.
So go ahead and make an attack roll with your sword. Let me see here. How could he do that? Now, the best way to do this, click on your token. And remember that little HUD display?
Yep.
Yeah. Go under strikes and click the first one for longsword. It should say plus 15.
Yes, it does.
So go ahead and click that and see what you get. See if you can catch him.
Is this blind or is this open?
This will be public.
Okay.
All your attacks will be public. 34. Ouch.
That scared me for a second.
Yeah, it did me too. Yeah, you got a critical success on this. So if you look over in the chat where it says your attack, 34 and all that, you'll see where it says critical. This is in the chat.
Oh, let me chat back up. Boom. Okay, 34. Yes, I see that.
See where it says critical? Hit that critical
Yes, I do.
button. That's critical damage.
I got question mark.
It should have been public.
Oh. Well, I surprised myself with what I did.
How you turn that off is you see where you type messages at the bottom of the chat. It probably says blind GM roll. Change that to public.
Oh, yeah.
Just click it, drop down menu. Public is what you want.
You want me to roll that again, or are we gonna
I know what you rolled
keep the
first. But
surprise?
go ahead and roll a second time. I want to see if you can do better.
Okay.
You did.
All right.
16 points of damage. You cut into this creature. More writhing of pain. But it ignores you, and it continues on. Looking at you, Althea. This creature attempts to rake you
Oh wait,
with
I'm
its...
going to do my reaction.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead. Go ahead. That was your attack of opportunity, by the way, Max. You caught him. Quite effectively, too. Damn. A swordsman indeed. You must make a reaction before creature rolls its attack. Oh, it's this thing again. Puppy dog eyes.
Yes. I press myself against the door in the corner. I look helpless. No! I raise my arms to protect my face.
Yes, sadly it has the mental trait. It pays no attention to your puppy eyes. And it claws towards you. Unfortunately, it totally whiffs, and the claws scratch against the walls around you. So it missed.
Yeah.
This one's up next. Shitty Grothlet is up next. This one advances towards both Sheppy and this new man in the fight here. This is an attack on you, Frey. It begins to reach towards you with these claws, sickly and disgusting. Your armor class is 22. It hits. It's going to do normal damage on you. You take the hit. You're going to take 15 points of slashing damage. Now, right-click your token and give yourself minus 15 and then hit enter. There you go. Got it. It's going to attack again. Only this time, give me a number between 1 and 6, Max.
4.
It continues its attack upon you. It's going to be a little harder for it this time because it's second. And it misses. You easily dodge its claws. Next, I'm going to go to Sheppy. Althea, this is you. What does Sheppy do?
Sheppy is going to use Gouging Claw on the one within his reach, which is this one here.
You have to describe this for me. This is awesome.
Oh, yeah, no, it is a very awesome move. So his hands are free right now, and his normal, I don't even know how to describe Sheppy's own hands, but these green hands covered in filth just morph into these clawed appendage, and he slashes forward. I'm actually going to be doing piercing damage, and just kind of goes at it, giving it this very primal energy of just being like a beast. Sheppy's letting it all out. Now, I don't know what this would do with his elemental magic. Are the nails, the claws made of flame?
No, that's just a normal attack. He could describe it that way.
Oh, I'm going to use a hero point. Reroll that.
Why not? That was a horrible roll.
Know.
Terrible.
It sure was. Reroll using hero point. Imagine better.
What'd you roll, an 8 on that, I think? No, a 7 is what that was. No. So, yeah, these appendages grow from Sheppy's hands. His fingers get exceptionally long as they reach towards this creature.
See, I can be a mutant too!
And he lashes at him a few times, left and right. And it's an amazement to the eyes of Frey to see this little goblin lunge with these oversized hands that do not make the mark. So Sheppy, I believe, is done.
No, that was
two.
a 2.
No, he's
Yes.
got one more. Now remember,
Yes.
remember, Frey had grabbed hold of him and kind of pulled him back. And I did say he was going to follow suit. So,
Oh yeah, you did.
so he'll make his move.
Shippy
towards you.
never listens to anybody. Especially somebody new.
I did roll it. I did roll it. He was quite impressed by the authority put forward by Frey. So he will actually.
All right.
So go ahead and put him towards the door. Good point.
All right, then in that point, he'll... Dang it, he could have done some good damage. That's all right. He sneaks back and kind of sneaks by Agatha and has his eyes set on the door.
Yeah, he could do that. There was another one up ahead coming off the steps, and it begins to move itself forward towards Frey. It gets right to this position here and makes an attack. So it's going to attack with its claws reaching towards you, Frey. 21. That is going to be a miss. It's going to do it again. 26. That will hit. That's going to do normal damage. You are caught by the slashing of these claws. 12 points. Oof. That cuts into you deep. You begin to stagger from that blow, Frey. But you're holding your ground. Agatha, you hear the sound of battle all around you. One of these creatures is right in front of you. What do you do?
Agatha's immediately already reaching into her bag. Holding her one hand outstretched towards the creature in front of her. In her other hand, she has the... She's going to be using the Scroll of Paralyze on this creature.
Oops, sorry. Althea. You there, Althea?
Yeah, what's up?
She's casting a spell from a scroll. It's going to take 2 actions to get that baby out. I'm going to let her do it, but the thing is, the spell has a cast time of 2. I don't think she can she? Or am I wrong?
I think you're right.
She can't do it.
Can't do it. You can get the spell. You can take the scroll out of the bag and then just use your single action on something else, and
That's what I
then
thought.
do the spell next turn.
So, are you good with that, Dizzy? You're not going to be able to cast it, but you can get it out. Do you want to get out the scroll and prepare to read it? It's going to take your whole turn to get it out and ready. You want to do that?
Sure.
All right, but you don't get it off this turn. All right. Make a note.
Yeah. It'd be different if it was in a belt pouch, though.
Mm-hmm. Quick draw. There's another
Pretty
one.
much.
There's another one overhead, right over your head. It drops down upon you, Frey. Let me roll a dice here. Give me a reflex save. You can get that on your HUD as well. It's under saves, or you can use
Public
your
or
character sheet.
private?
This can be public. I want to see if you get out of the way of this thing. It's coming right down on you. It's not trying to. It's just falling. And yeah, you avoid it. But it lands. It doesn't fall prone, however, but it does land right in front of you. And I'm going to put it right here. And it's going to take some damage from that.
Agatha, what did you do on your turn?
She got her scroll out.
You still had another action.
Yeah, if you want to take that, I would have counted it as just, rooting through the bag. But if you want to, I'll let you take another action if you know what you're doing. Want to try something?
All else fails, there's always recall knowledge.
Cantrip? spell shield. There, Dizzy?
Okay.
Do you want to do one more action?
There. What can I do?
I think you can do the shield if you want.
Oh yeah, shield's great.
I think that's one action. Boom. There
It
you go.
is definitely worth having up.
Yeah, okay. Shield. There you go. You got your shield up. That'll protect you. This one over here is about to strike. Yeah, give me a number from 1 to 6, Agatha.
3.
Yeah. Does turn its attention towards you. It's not paying
Oh,
attention to
lovely.
Frey. Just in time. A claw comes in your direction, towards your face. It misses. It's going to try one more time. Ooh, that one, however, did catch you on the upswing. If you want, I'm going to roll damage here. If you want, you can do a shield block with that spell, that shield spell. That will absorb some of the damage you're about to receive as it cuts into you for 11 points of slashing damage. You can either take it.
I'll sacrifice the shield.
All right. That turns off the spell. It's gone, and it will absorb some of the damage.
So how much am I taking in total?
5. 5 hit points. Okay, that's not bad. Now, and with that, we're going to go to round 2. However, I think Althea is going to go in shadow mode here. She's going to leave us. I'm sad. I'm sad, Rachel.
The time has come. Definitely stayed on super long, but at least we took a break so I could give my cat her medicine. But I had to go
Actually.
prepare for work. But it was great playing with you guys. Nice to meet you, Max.
You as well. Have a good night.
Hopefully we'll play more later. Good luck with the fight. If you continue it, I would use a 2 action on Frey and electric arc the heck out of these guys. Just, something to keep in mind. But have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys next week.
Thanks, Rachel.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, do you want to play one more round? Or finish it? Or do you want to call it and wait? This is up to you guys. What do you think, Max?
I'm dead, so if I can live one more week, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we should do something with that. You are near death. I think we'll play at least one more.
I have some ideas. I just don't know the game well enough, but I have some ideas of like how I would react to this. But yeah.
Well, let's see, because you are pretty dang close.
You think?
5 freaking hit points. You weren't healed enough at the beginning. Yeah, let's do that. We got Althea up first. Let me see here. Oh, well, Agatha. All right, let me put this in the chat. If I know how to do this. How do I put it in the chat? Click it. There we go. Let me do it again so everybody can see it. Boom. Alright, so there's the heal spell. So she can do the verbal somatic one, which is the spell has a range of 30 feet. If you're healing a living creature like Frey, increase the hit points restored by 8. So I believe for her it's... Well, I could just click healing. It'll do it automatically. let me do that because she wants to do this towards Frey. 24 points plus 8. So 32 points are healed back on you, Frey, as she calls to Desna.
Yay.
And she reaches towards you, and you feel the positive energy of Desna envelop you, and you feel invigorated. You feel very aware, hyper so. Okay, so she got that off, and she has one more thing to do. She's going to let out a scream. Ah! And she's going to draw her star knife. And she's ready with that. Frey, you're up.
Okay, I mean, just makes the most sense for me to mash the one that's injured next to me. So, yeah, it's just gonna do a strike. I have no imagination right now, sorry.
There's one on the closest to the south. That one's near death. That one you want to hit?
Well, I mean, that would make more sense.
Actually, there's 3 of them around you, isn't there? Yeah, there is.
Yeah, that's. I was just gonna hit the one next to me, but if that one is near death, does it look like it's near death? Am I perceiving it near death?
If you float your mouse over it, it should tell you.
Yeah, I see that.
Near death. Yeah, you'd see that clearly. Way into him.
All right, so, boom, and boom.
31. Ouch. Let me see. Okay, 19, 29. Yes, that's critical hit again. Just you are a swordsman, I'm telling you. Critical damage.
Okay.
"18 points cuts through this creature. Describe how you fell this creature with your blade."
Well, after being reinvigorated with some health here, I feel a little better. I just lunged straight at him. I pushed with my shield. I press him against the wall, and I gut him.
Oops, sorry. And he collapses to the ground.
How big are
Excellent.
these things anyway?
These are a little bit taller than a human. They are
Okay, so I
nasty.
mean they're not like giant size or anything. Yeah, so yeah, I lean into him with my shield. Oh, gross. Well, I still lean into him with my shield, and I poke at some soft, squishy part.
All right, and it collapses.
I'm not going to sleep now, thanks.
You're welcome. All right, you can still attack. You got 2 more of those little swings there if you want them. That was 1.
Well, I see 3 around 1, so can I just focus this injured dude here?
Mm-hmm. Now this
I
will
need to
be
get
your
him.
second attack, so you're gonna hit the +10 for longsword.
A +10.
It's a little bit harder to do.
I don't see a +10.
Are you using the token HUD?
Nope.
Use the token HUD.
All right, I still don't see a +10.
Left click your token,
Yep, did that.
and on that token HUD, you'll see under strikes there'll be a longsword +15, +10, and then +5.
Oh, up there. Oh my god, I never used that. Okay, yeah.
There you go.
Got it. All right, so yeah, I mean, so I understand this game works on action, so I just want to keep swinging until something dies. So I mean, if that means I can get 2 attacks, I'll
This'll
do
be
what I
on-
need to do.
Go for it. You're gonna use the +10 attack as your second
Okay.
one. And that
Is
is
my
an
real dice
other-
rolled this well?
Yeah, it's not critical this time, so you're gonna roll the normal damage, just
Okay.
damage. Click that. 11 slashing. You have 1 more. You could continue attacking this one or the one to the north.
No, again, there's 3 around that one. I have to keep these off their backs, so I'm gonna keep moving on this one.
Okay, that'll be
And,
your third attack. That'll be the +3, or
+5.
+5. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, come on, you were there. I saw you sliding in on the 20.
You hit. You did normal.
Okay.
Pretty impressive for 7 points. He doesn't drop, but he feels the pain. So you're doing your job. Excellent. Next, this one down here. Agatha, give me a number. 1 to 6.
4. Let's hear it.
No, it's not on you. His attention is drawn towards the little smelly goblin. The claws reach out towards the goblin. Ooh, he gets a critical hit on the poor gobbo. Sheppy's gonna take some critical damage here. He really cut into him. 32 points of slashing damage.
Wow.
Yeah. He gets to attack again. Number from 1 to 6, Agatha.
2.
He's got eyes for you, Agatha. And that misses. You avoid that. However, it turns its attention also on Althea. And Althea screams in pain as she takes 16 points of slashing damage. So yeah, she was cut. You avoided any damage whatsoever, Agatha. But it did turn its attention on you there for a few seconds. Yeah, and that's it. We're going to go to Sheppy. Sheppy has been brutalized. Boy. What's Sheppy going to do? Fireball! Jeez, he could do that, couldn't he?
There's no fireball.
Nah, you got fireball too, don't you? That would be terrible.
I don't know what to do. Althea!
Gouging Claw, did you do that? Agatha?
Second.
Gouging Claw, didn't you use that?
No.
That must have been Sheppy before. Melee attack roll. You shroud your... Let me put this in the chat. This is what I'm going to do here. Shocking Grasp. Level 1. You shroud your hands in a crackling field of lightning. Make a melee spell attack. On the hit, the target takes 2d12 electricity damage. Alright, let's do that. This is going to be against the one right in front of him.
Leave my friends alone!
He gets a 13, and that's just not going to do it. Oh, Sheppy, you wasted some time there. Alright, in that case... he's going to kick the creature. And it just goes thud. Doesn't do anything to the creature. Doesn't even recognize the attack. Sheppy is done. Uh-oh. Frey's in trouble. This creature's got eyes on him. It's got something here. No, we're not going to do that. It's going to attack you, Frey. Claws once again, and a few bites. 17 will not do it. It misses. You fend off the attacks. It continues the assault left and right. The claws strike at you. And again, you fend off the attacks. And finally, it pauses for a moment, looking in your direction, and it begins to mutter strange sounds, moaning sounds. It looks very threatening, very intimidating.
Which can be deceiving.
But you shrug it off. You shrug it completely off, almost smirking to yourself. It tried to intimidate you. It failed. Agatha, you are up. Go ahead, Agatha.
Trying to find the scroll.
Oh yeah, you got the scroll out. Put that in the chat and we'll resolve that.
Don't know how to cast again though.
Can you put it in the chat? Click
Since
the
I'd
image.
already, since I had already posted it, I'm not finding it in my bag again.
Oh, it didn't disappear, did it?
I believe it did.
Oh no. What was it? Do you remember?
Paralyze. You block the target's motor impulses before they can leave its mind, threatening to freeze the target in place. The target must attempt a will save. If it is a critical success, the target is unaffected. Success, the target is stunned 1. Failure, the target is paralyzed for 1 round. Critical failure, the target is paralyzed for 4 rounds. At the end of each of its turns, it can attempt a new will save to reduce the remaining duration by 1 round, or end it entirely on a critical success.
All right, which one? The one in front of you?
Yes.
Can you put that spell in the chat so I can read it again? Because I did find it. I should have drug it to your sheet. Oh well. I mean, just the spell will do.
I'm looking. I'm trying to find it.
I found it. All right. Can I put this in the chat? No, I can't. All right. What did it do here? It got a failure. All right, so it's paralyzed for 1 round. Ooh, it stiffens up. Its sinews begin to lock. You sense that your spell was effective. Well done. Okay, what else do you do?
How many actions do I have? How many abilities
1.
do I have left?
1.
Okay.
You see Frey to your left engaged with these creatures, holding them off. He could use some help, but he's standing on his own. But you do have this creature in front of you. You could try to finish him off. You did buy yourself some time. You have a weapon out or anything?
During my preparations, I was able to pull this spell.
Magic missile. Level 1. Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
It's right in front of you, but he won't interfere.
Now, do I just click damage or?
Yeah, it automatically hits. It's going to be 1 magical missile that appears above you, pointing it in its direction. You see the energy blast into the creature. 5 points of force damage. Very good. We're going to go on to the next creature. Grothlets. You remember these creatures as grothlets? The one in front of Frey begins to slash at him. No. 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 He pulls away from you, Frey. It begins to fall back defensively. You're not able to react enough to use your attack of opportunity. And
Which creature is this?
the one that was directly to the north, right up
I never
here.
saw one directly to the north.
Yeah, he's there. Can you see that part of the map?
Nope. I see where you pinged, but I never saw a creature there.
Let me see. Maybe I've got this backwards. You should be able to see that unless I got it off. Agatha, Dizzy, can you see?
I had to scroll. I had to roll over it to see where it was placed, since it was under the bridge.
How about now?
Oh, now I see it. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had the view of the top of the bridge instead of the bottom.
So you mean I was standing in between 2 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Sorry. Well, he was here. Now he's.
Well, you
moved
know what?
back.
To be honest, I'm glad I didn't know that.
I'm sorry.
Ignorance was bliss.
He did pull back. And He spits at you. This green, acidic-like spittle comes in your direction, but you easily fend it off. You avoid it. And it lands on the wall right to the left of you. And you can see it. It's like burning the wall itself. And it's done. We get back to Althea. Oh no, everybody. She's going to use that. I feel like I'm playing by myself here. You guys can do this, though. You can finish him off. Come on. What is the name of that spell? Shocking, not grasp, the lightning arc, right? Electric arc. Let's put that in the chat. There it is. The one directly in front of her. She looks at it and grits her teeth. Yeah, you'll pay for this. All right, she's going to roll some damage, and she's going to connect to the one behind that directly. So she's going to hit 2 of them. She does 10 points of electricity damage. They have to make savings throws. Let's see how good. See if they can get out of the way. This one's going to have trouble because he's paralyzed. Critically failed. This creature is going to take double the damage. So 20 points of damage. That is going to be enough to kill the creature.
You're welcome.
Yes. Dizzy, describe what that looks like to you as Althea shrivels this thing, burns it alive, if it was alive, with this electricity damage. What do you see? What does that look like? Ignore disgusting demise, by the way.
She just watches as it's like shriveling, like shrieking, trying to like almost as if trying to put out flames, but it just eventually just crumbles into ash.
Very good. Give yourself a hero point. The arc continues on and blasts into this one in front of you, Frey, the one right there. You can see this electricity just cover its body. You pull away momentarily so as not to mistakenly get shocked yourself. The smell of burning, rotting flesh is in the air. It's a good day. Next is going to be Frey.
Can you put up the picture of this creature again real quickly? I closed it out. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, we're good. So yeah, I'm going to slice at its tail a couple of times and then try to pierce it through its chest like I did the last one.
Go for it.
It's slimy, nasty, gross chest.
Slimy. So your first attack is the plus 15. And it just descends from there. There you go. You hit it. That's going to be critical damage again. Critical damage.
Can I take this die home with me? My dice never roll this well.
That's your personal digital die. 16 points of slashing damage. Describe, Max, how you fell this. I want to say the final creature, but it's not. There's one more.
Well, a couple little, what do you call them? Just slice to the tail just to get its attention, and then when I was looking down at its tail, I went right up underneath its horrible, fat, bulbous chin.
Right. Sounds good. Now you got 2 more actions. We don't have to call them actions, but you get to do 2 more things. I imagine you'd probably step forward at the other one and lash into him too. What do you think?
Well, yes. Can I step diagonally?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that like 19 actions or something? Like I'd like to step diagonally
5
and.
feet.
Okay. Like how do I do that? Like that? Oh, there we go.
I got you. And then make your plus 10 second attack.
All right. And this time I'm just going pierce, bap, bap.
Yeah, just a series of blows left and right. 24. Well, it has armor class 19. You hit him, so that's normal damage.
Normal damage. And 10.
Sadly, this creature hasn't been touched yet, so 10
Yeah.
points of slashing damage. So it's badly injured. So that was good. You're done.
So pardon me, I don't know how this game works, but I'd like to save an action if that's what it's done in this game, where I want to be able to use my shield if he tries to do something stupid to me. Do I need to save an action for that, or is that just something that naturally happens in the game?
That's something you have to actively do.
Okay, well then I'm saving whatever the heck I'm saving because I have a
Okay.
reactive shield and some other mess here.
You do. When you spend when again, you don't have to use the word action, but when you
Right.
do actively raise your shield, you can do all those fancy things like reactive shield as well and shield block, and you also get the bonus of your shield towards your armor class. You have to actually raise your shield to use its armor class, and that costs a action. But that's okay.
Oh, so it being equipped doesn't, because I have it equipped here. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, then I'm raising it because I'm a Roman, man. I want my shield in front of me and I poke with my sword.
Being a fighter will all come back to you soon enough. All those years walking around with a silly sap in Otari. Oh,
Yeah.
it just made you forget things. But
How many times you made me use that when I kept wanting to use the club?
Yeah. Yeah, the big club. Sheppy is next. What do you think, Agatha? What does Sheppy do? I'm asking you because. What do you think he's going to do? Fireball.
He probably would if he had the opportunity.
I kind of know what he would do. He'd use that flaming sphere spell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that, though. I hate that freaking thing. He's definitely going to step out on the rocks here. All right, let me do the flaming sphere. I hate this thing. I think I have a token for that, don't I? Yeah, I do. Let's put it on the map. Boink. It's small. So he makes this flaming ball just appear out of the ether, and it appears right in the space in front of you, Frey, where this creature is, not you. He avoids you. This creature has to try and dodge out of the way of this horrifying flame. Let's make a save for this creature. See if he can effectively get away from this little bowling ball of fire. It fails with a 16. It's going to take some damage as the flames catch you. 5 points. What's better? -5. Let's see. Nope. Okay. So that happened. And I think that was 2, so he's done. We're going to go to Agatha.
Blasted creatures! Feel my fire!
And the ball of flame is still there, but it's avoiding you, Frey. You're safe. But this creature did get ignited a little bit, burned his toes. You're up, Agatha. What do you want to do, Agatha? What does this vampire want to do? Agatha, you there? Agatha? Dizzy. She wandered up. It's your turn. Are you getting tired?
No,
I think you're falling asleep on me.
no,
going on
I'm
here?
not asleep on you.
Okay. You're up.
Alrighty.
You probably got family stuff going on, don't you?
Actually, I have my son almost asleep behind me.
Okay.
Okay, I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
She's kind of gonna play leapfrog with, Sheppy moving forward. And then she's going to cast Produce Flame.
Okay. Put that in there for us. Okay, flame erupts from your hand and you shoot it towards the creature, trying to engulf him in yet more flames and fire. I could see your mouth opening wide and you baring your fangs as you do this.
Oh,
15. Nope, it's not going to do it. A little burst of fire appears in the steps behind the creature. It's to no avail. You can still do something else. Still got time.
I actually used up all 3 of my abilities because I had to move and then I did the cast.
Well, it's only one, isn't it? Oh, no, you're right. I'm sorry. You were right. Okay. I was looking at targets. All right. And the last one. It's not happy. It hisses at you, Frey, as you see suddenly for the first time this long, long tongue appear from its maw, through its teeth, its nasty pointy teeth.
just when I thought I couldn't be any more gross.
And as you're distracted, it lunges at you. 23, that is armor class 22, so it hits. It's going to do normal damage against Frey. You're going to take 17 points of slashing damage as they rake through your armor.
17?
17. What you at? You're at 20 now?
Yes.
Well, you're doing your job. Absorbing those blows. It's all coming back to you. It's going to do it again. It's going to do it again. It continues this onslaught of claws, and it fails. Althea hears this sickening noise from up where Frey is. Oh, Desna, help us all! And with that, Agatha, you look back in terror, hoping that it's not what you think it is. It's not. She's going to do that. Heal again.
Oh no.
Don't worry, it's not the 3. She knows. She knows about you. So she's being a little bit careful. Verbal somatic one. She could use this to do damage too. But she won't. She's going to add 8 to this total and 27, right? Yeah, 27 points of healing power hits you, Frey.
Yay.
27. Thank you, Desna. Then Searing Light. Level 3. You shoot a blazing ray of light. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think she can. Nah, she can't. Yeah, screw that. Can't do that. Can't do that. Wow. She's got her star knife out. I forgot about that. Alright, she's going to try and shoot past Frey. This is going to be a hard shot for her. But she's going to attack with her star knife. It's going to be thrown. Whew. Desna, seek out our enemies. This is going to be difficult. Ooh, she just did it. You get out of the way just in time, Frey, as this This whirling bladed instrument comes whistling past your head and sinks deep into this creature's flesh. This is not critical, but it does hit its mark. And it does 4 points of damage. Piercing. It's something. Alright, that was her star knife. Symbol of Desna. Frey, you're up next. This could be it. You feel it. The blood is surging through your veins.
Yeah, so, okay. There's not much else I can do right now. Well, there's a lot I can do, but I'm just going to try to finish this off. I'm just going adrenaline rush at this point. Just swing, 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 swing. Keeping the shield in front of me. So if that just means swing, swing, that's what I'm doing.
So what you do, go ahead and make your 2 attacks, and then finally, if it's still alive, raise your shield.
Okay. Is there a button for raising the shield, or?
I've got it for you. I'll just click.
Okay. So the 15 and then the 10 and then.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. So boom.
You can roll them both.
Oh, come on, that was close. Should have stayed. Your dice.
20,
Jesus.
23 is a hit, and so is a... Nope, 17 is
Nope,
not.
that's not.
You did get 1. So go ahead and roll damage normal.
Okay.
Once. A critical would have sealed its fate. 12 points of slash.
Exploding dice?
Nope. It's...
Okay.
What does it say here? It's badly injured, so you've got this thing closing in on the dark side. So, very good. Now, instead of weighing it, you can, if you want, attack it again. It's going to be a lot harder, or you can raise that shield.
I want to raise the shield.
Okay. Good choice, I think, actually.
And if you tell me what button to mash, I'll know what to do in the future.
All right, so your armor class will be bumped up now because you got your shield.
Okay.
Well, it's probably a macro, and I don't know. I didn't put it on your thing.
Okay.
There's a macro for it. I could do that for you later, and it's a little button you push whenever you use it. I got it, so I put it on you.
Okay.
So you're done. Series of blows and raising his shield, being a little defensive. Sheppy is up next. All right, he's going to move up alongside you.
Look out, human!
And he begins talking some arcane language loudly. And he's going to do a little of that. Burning hands, I think, again. Is it burning hands? Let me see. 2d6 fire damage. Yeah, he's going to do some burning hands. Gusts of flame rush from your hands. You deal 2d6 fire damage to creatures in the area, which is a 15-foot cone. Nope, we're not going to do that one. I'm going to do... I'm going to do... He's got so many things on here. Oh, I forgot his flaming sphere. Well, forget that. I'm going to do where is it? Shocking Grasp. He's a sorcerer, so he can do these repeatedly. Yeah, we're going to do this one right here. So let's make the attack. See if you can catch this creature. If you can grab hold of him and lay into him with the 29, he will. That's going to be critical damage. That is going to be...
Wow.
8 points, right? Double the initial damage. I see it 16 points. Plus, he gets 1d4 persistent damage, fire damage. So he's going to roll an extra d4. This might do it, folks. This might do it. 3 points. That is enough to take him to 0. He killed the beast with shocking grasp. So as he says,
Look out, human!
you see him, you see the electricity begin to form in his hands, both of them, and he begins to dive towards this creature. Initially, he can't make contact with him, but then he does. He grabs hold of the creature. One of the tentacles comes down, and he grabs that too. And suddenly, this creature begins to shake. It begins to smoke, and it begins to let off a smell of singeing. You could look up and see its eyes, Frey. They go white, and its tongue comes out and begins to dangle, almost lifelessly, as this creature begins to turn black until it becomes pure ash and crumbles to the ground in front of you.
That's how you do it. Rotten creature, filthy.
And he slaps his hands together.
I'm gonna step on the ash just to make sure it's dead,
You can't.
and then turn around and look behind me for what's her name? What's the character's name? Oh, yeah, Althea.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make sure she's okay because she was the one that was surrounded and she was whimpering like a little baby earlier. So I need to make sure that she's okay.
Oh, wait, yes, thank you. And as you do this, you can hear the breathing and panting right now, this sudden battle that erupted. All around you are these bodies. You see 4 more of these creatures lying amongst the previous bodies that were here. Former friends of yours, Frey. Or acquaintances, at least. But your new friends are still standing beside you. Sheppy, the goblin. Agatha, who you have seen before, although you don't know her. You don't know her name. You've seen her before in Otari, now that you think about it. Strange person. She seems to have very white flesh, and she's kind of keeps to herself, and her cowl comes over her face, and you can barely make out her facial features. And of course, the gnome.
Albinos can't be in the sun.
Exactly. And of course, the gnome Althea. So, what are you doing at this point?
Is Althea okay? I mean, does she look?
She's fine.
All right.
She's looking fine. What
The
else are you
others, I
doing?
mean, they seem like they were fine anyway. Like I said, she was in the corner cowering for a little bit, so I needed to make sure that she's all right. Other than that, only thing I'm doing now is if there are corpses still on the ground of humanoids, whatever people I came with, I would like to try to find one more sword. If not, that's fine.
That
I
was
can
the
do
only,
that later. But
That was the only sword. You can go through
Okay.
the bodies and search more if you want.
well, I'm
after
not
this
gonna like
is
dig in their
concluded,
underwear
but-
pants, in their underwear, but
could.
I'm sure I could, but no. I just want to see if there was a sword laying around because I'd like to have a backup in case. But if not, then
The rogue does
I
have
think-
a dagger. You do find a dagger tucked away in his boot. That's about it.
well, that might work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. Let me find a dagger for you. If not now, I'll add it later. So, yeah, you do have a dagger. Let me go to here. Look for dagger. Which is good, because you need some weapons, don't you? You really don't have much. Let's see, dagger. I'll drag that to your sheet. Boom, you got a dagger. Now, whenever you get something added to your inventory, you'll see one of the icons to the right of that item is looks like a little shirt. If you left click that, you'll see a little menu of how you want to equip it.
Okay.
You just choose one. Like worn is typical if you don't have it out. Okay.
So I want to test something for a second, so I can do that. Okay.
Yep, holding 2 hands if you want. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have an ability that works with. How can I do that with a shield?
Well, you couldn't. You got your one hand in the
Okay.
shield and one hand on the sword, so you're
Okay.
kind of stuck.
No problem. So for now, it's just
Yeah, put it as worn, I guess is what you do, right? Worn, yeah. And you can drop it too if you want.
oh no.
You also have a mug. I don't know what that's for, but you got a mug. And arrows. Let me see. You got to link those to your short bow. Let me see if you draw it. Arrow, yeah, it's already linked. So it automatically keeps track of your ammo whenever you use one.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So silence once again, briefly, returns to the companions and their newfound friend, Frey.
How far into this, whatever we're in, are we?
What do you mean? How far into the corridor?
Well, into this building, this, my brain is fuzzy right now.
Speaking meta, you're about, I think this is level 5.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, you're pretty deep. It's a couple hours to get down here and then back again. It's about a couple hours. So yeah, you've been in here. But the thing is, when you first come in here, you didn't really encounter anything much. Just shadows moving and howls, and it's like somebody was already through here. So you took the least path of resistance and followed that path
Until we got jumped.
until you got jumped down here. And you have no idea what happened to Grad. He's nowhere to be seen, no evidence of him. Maybe he was slain and drug off. Maybe he was captured. Maybe he led you into a trap, if you want to think sinister about it, but I doubt it. You don't know. So there's another reason to be down here now. Maybe. But all you know, as your one hand comes up and grabs hold of your chest, where you have that lump, that little amulet, that's the most important thing. Agatha, what about you? Now that combat is over and subsided, what's on your mind right now? Dizzy?
Agatha's thoughts are still on the other companions and worry that something has happened to them. But right now, they don't know where they went. They don't know what direction. And if they are injured, they have no idea how injured they are.
Yeah, that's right. All the fighters disappeared. The hell? They left us down here. But you got a new one now.
We still forgot how to fight.
Yeah. The simple days of wandering down back alleys and thumping some old drunk in the back of the head. No comparison to this. You probably feel pretty exhilarated being back in battle again.
I was going the other direction with that.
Yeah, you did take a whooping. These guys beat you up before.
Well, not only that, but based on the information you gave me, and based on what happened last time I played. So I'm not. This isn't fun at all.
What's going on? Sucks.
I left to avoid this. I had the good life until a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that all makes sense as we tell the tale. It all makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing. I mean, I don't know when you want to quit here, but I mean, laying on a hard floor here isn't going to do anybody any good. So we got to try to find a way through the south door.
Let me think.
And
here.
since the only person's name, at least that I have written down so far, is Althea's, I don't know anybody else's name. So, hey, Goblin, I thought I threw you at that door.
Don't make me roleplay that. God.
Agatha shoots a death glare at Frey.
Oh, come on. Now, the thing is, the funny thing about this, Frey, Agatha, Sheppy, Althea, the four of you live and work around Otari. So, of all the other companions, you four have the greatest chance of actually seeing one another at one point or another. Now, I will say that out of all the characters here, I think Frey, you've seen Sheppy before. He's well known in Otari as being the little goblin friend. You know, he sleeps under the Otari fishery. You know, he's seen a lot. You'd know about him, especially being in the Otari Guard. So maybe you never met him, but you know he's a mischievous goblin in town. Possibly guilty of starting fires here and there, but not really a troublemaker, just mischievous. But you probably do know about him. Althea lives in Otari as well. That's up to you whether you know her or not, but you're already on speaking terms anyway. Agatha, she's also relatively well known in Otari. She's someone, you would know this. She doesn't live in Otari. She lives in the outskirts of Otari, in a little cabin deep in the woods in the north of town, several miles outside of town. Word has it she's a vampire. She has vampire in her blood. Something. But she's very benevolent, so it seems. And that's reason why she covers herself, avoids the sun. She's known for coming into town and befriending folk and trading in herbs and helping those in need of healing and stuff. Occasionally she comes to town for that purpose, so gets supplies. But she's never been seen as a threat. In fact, because of her benevolent actions, she's actually welcomed in Otari. But rumor has it she does have the taint of a vampire in her bloodline, and that explains a lot. There is some mistrust, I'm sure, amongst some. But you would know this, being an former Otari guard. You would, keep an eye on her. I know her. That kind of thing would be going through a lot. You'd hear that. So, and you'd probably realize this now, in the flickering light of Althea's magical energy. You're starting to recognize, if not the names, the faces of these individuals before you. Good company, perhaps. Perhaps. And that's where we're going to end the session.
Okay.
And we'll linger a little bit here. Let's do our outros. First of all, thanks, Max, for joining once again. I love having you in here. It's great, man. Great role playing. And great session. I enjoyed it. So, Agatha, we'll start with you. Do your outro and tell us what you thought.
I mean, going from just barely escaping death to now losing 3 of her companions to now gaining an ally that she doesn't know a whole lot. She's barely seen, and seeing him toss Chapt the way he did, she's just like, she doesn't know what to do with him. So, but right now her focus is on trying to find the other 3. Otherwise, it could get bad if they get possibly swarmed.
Yeah. How is Agatha holding up with the taint in her blood? How is she holding up with that? I mean, you're probably around people more than you ever have been.
It's still relatively new to her, and she's knowing she possesses a vampire bloodline.
Yeah.
It has her still with that sense of distrust, like she doesn't know if somebody's going to try and come up behind her, try and take her out, maybe try and catch her in a dark alleyway.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't know people well enough to where she can fully trust them. So she still has that in the back of her mind.
Oh, there is a corridor going east and west here. Sorry, I didn't realize that. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Let me put the bridge back up again. Yeah, that's the bridge above. And that's the bridge underneath. Yeah, I guess there is. So I wasn't wrong. I thought that was a wall. It's not. Well, Agatha, I think there's a lot to discover with your character. It's interesting. It's got a lot of potential for backstory and how it fits into this main story. What role does Agatha play in this tale? You know, we don't know, but we're going to see. We're going to see where it ultimately leads. I think it's interesting. Keep on pushing with that. Good work. And Max, do your outro. Talk about the session and what you thought about it. And if you're looking forward to another one, let us know. What's going on?
Well, I'm looking forward to understanding this character a little better. That's the first thing. Not that you gave me any bad notes, but I have to put it all together still. As far as the character's thoughts right now, I came in here with some people. They're gone. Now I'm basically alone around 2 short stacks and a monster. And I'm the only normal one here. That's great. But I need their help if we're going to move forward. So it looks like we're moving in the same direction. It started off with them helping me, so obviously I owe them that in return. Yeah, I need to resolve my own issue, obviously, and then, if they can help do that, great. So, as far as the game goes, I still have to figure out how it works, because me, I like to just say what I'm doing with my character and continue to say what I'm doing with my character until you tell me to stop. I'm not used to the actions thing, but we'll get that down.
Once you understand that it's 3 actions and a reaction, you don't ever have to say it. I've said that before. Once you know that, you can just describe what you're doing. Like, I lean into this guy with a series of left and right strikes and piercings. That could be enough. Just roll your 3 attacks and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, there are some things that, again, this isn't a complaint. It's just I'm trying to feel it out, where it's like, I want to take my shield, slam the thing into the wall. I don't know if that's an action. I don't even know if that counts as a roll or not. And then while I'm pinning it, try to stab it like 3 times or whatever it happens to be. Some games you can get by with that. Some games it's like, hold on, that you can't do that. There's no rule for it, yada, yada. So, again, I'm just used to describing what's going on. And when the TM says roll, then I roll.
And you know what? That's the best way to do it, and then I'll decide what it constitutes with the rules.
Yeah.
No problem. And you did that tonight. That was good. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why the shield thing was a little confusing to me. I didn't know how to declare it up because I had mentioned a couple times that I was having it before me, but that's cool. If there's a button for that, I'll just make sure I click the button in the future or I articulate that better. And it's just getting used to it. That's all it is.
And hopefully I hear you say it, because we know from experience things go right over my head.
Yeah, how many times did I drop the sap? That was awesome.
You raised the sap. I just dropped it.
And then it was in my hand again. I think this damn thing's cursed. It won't go away. No, that was great. But I had fun. I think trying to get involved with the character. What you wrote for the background of this character that was different from when I first played him took me a little bit by surprise. And right up that command thing, I didn't know how I was going to deal with that. I was like, oh, so I kind of feel like I'm in charge of stuff now. Great. Tweaking the verbiage of that a little bit for obvious reasons. And then
I tried to leave it very vague and let you fill in the blanks.
Yeah, I've got to feel out the group. The other thing was I didn't have a sword, and I noticed that right off the bat. I was like, oh, I don't have a sword. Okay. Now, you mentioned it to me, but I had a couple of things I was going to try to do beforehand until that was mentioned. I'm like, okay. But I did pick up on that right away. I was like, okay, that makes sense. I'm hurt. I don't have a sword. Well, let's see what goes. Let's see what happens here, But, everything was good. I just don't want to. The main thing for me in character or out of character is I don't want to step on anybody's toes here. You guys have been playing this for too long. I am definitely the outsider, and depending on my schedule, we'll see how often I can play. Should be for the most part. Today was honestly, I apologize. I sincerely apologize to all of you. I had the longest live stream I've ever had for RPG Digest, and then it takes me now about an hour and a half to get my videos taken care of before I can play. So hopefully this doesn't happen again. What's that?
Did you get them all taken care of?
Yeah, I have a new process. So as long as I know what's going on the live stream, I can prepare everything that I need to do with the exception of the video links beforehand. So today the biggest thing was waiting for one of the longer ones to process. YouTube was taking forever to process the dumb thing. So other than that, no, about how long it took me today from, I don't know if when you saw it, I sent that message saying, hey, I'm done. Now I got to process the video or do the stuff. That's about how long it will take me in the future, because I've got this narrowed down. So I should be on time for the most part.
Excellent.
Because I don't like the idea of not. And then I just need to, fit in the group here because I definitely don't want to step on anybody's toes or, I didn't want to come in here with a ton of attitude. At the same time, I was trying to play up that whole command thing and also being confused and, so on and so forth. I'm like, how do I do this without being a dick?
How did I confuse you with the command thing? What do you
Because
mean?
my character last time was unsure of himself.
Yes.
That was one of the big things. If you go back and watch that, I mean, one, he was an NPC. I was level 1. Grod's character, what's his name? Oh my God, was it?
Grod?
Guy who plays him.
Kyle?
Kyle, yeah, Kyle. He had that authoritative stuff. He was able to keep me in check, yada yada. And I get here and I'm like looking like, oh, okay, this is a little different. Apparently, these last 2 weeks, okay, but that's cool. I mean, I can work with any of that. It's great.
The thing is about your character, you are that way. There's no reason that has to change, particularly around an authority like Grod. But the presence of that serpentine amulet changes things.
That's cool. Yep.
This is
That's why I was
something
gonna
that
play into that.
perhaps might even have magical properties over you. It might. It might not.
No.
You're not sure. But it's something that has driven you from your humdrum daily life in Otari to actually descending the depths of the gauntlet.
Well, it got me fired.
And got you fired. But thanks to the presence of Grod, he's got you going in here, and you're feeling good about that. I want to go under that. There's things to be answered.
Yeah.
Of your past in particular that are haunting you day in and day out. So your character's cool because it's very much like Agatha. You're tied to the story, not in a way that's going to spoil the story if you die, but you are tied to the story directly, like Agatha, and that's cool. You're going to like this, I think.
That's good. I just need to feel it out a little bit. I like the character. I like the concept. I liked it last week, or it was the last whenever we played. And I liked it this time around. I just want to make sure that I'm not stepping on the toes of the others who've been doing this for a while.
Watch those toes. You did fine tonight. You're not stepping on toes. I'll let you know if you do.
Well, I'm sure they'll let me know too.
They'll let you know too. Especially the
Nah.
Rachel pairs.
For me, you don't have to worry about stepping on my toes. You just gotta worry about me snapping my fangs at you.
Yeah.
Well, see, again, that's kind of the same thing. 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Like, and just as a player, this has nothing to do with my character. My character will fit in the way it's supposed to, and I might have to talk to Fritz about this a little bit. I'm used to low magic worlds, so bouncing around with a goblin and a vampire is not something I'm personally comfortable with. Like, and I hear vampire, I'm like, that's something to be killed, and that's
perfect. That's the attitude anyone in Galarian would have. But now you're in the presence of it, so yeah, play that up. It's not like,
that's party conflict, though. I
say
am,
play it up.
I'm very much adverse to party conflict. I've been through too much of that in my life that I'd rather just get along. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure I'll say a few things, but ultimately, I just don't want to.
Okay, I will put it to you this way. I play a vampire. I have a daughter who plays a good character who I'm pretty sure is going to want to kill my character.
That's true. If she was playing, if she's a lawful good paladin, if she knew that, look out. But you know what? Agatha's character, she's playing a vampire. I'm letting her do this. Normally I wouldn't. I'm not a fan of dampiers even, because it's a very specific type of character. And to meet a story, right? You don't want them as the norm. But I'm letting her do this as long as I get to somehow weave it into the story. She wants to play, okay. Let's work on this together, Dizzy, and let's...
As I said before, and I'll say it again.
You will.
You help me create this. I'm letting you weave it however you see fit.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be the bad time for another player in here. So that's why I don't like looking for party conflict at all. So, but whether my character just keeps his mouth shut, or we have a little sparring match, but it doesn't go any farther than that or anything like that, whatever. Or hey, we become fast friends or something. I don't know. It's against my normal.
Yeah, I get it. We've had players in here that were very much like that and had some close calls, and they're no longer in our group now because of that. But I know what you mean. But I think at the very least your character would be a bit suspicious
Okay.
of somebody like a vampire, but you don't have to pull out the sword and die, ye heathen, and finish her off when she ain't looking. But you know what I mean. There could be some suspicion you can play out. And,
Well, I mean, there could also be, it's very easy, the superstition behind vampire. I might not even believe I'd be able to do it anyway, and I don't want to have my blood sucked from me, so,
yeah, there's that too.
But no, I think this will be fun. It'll be interesting when Kyle comes back, if he's playing Grodd, to see,
Where'd he go? What happened?
yeah, well, how this all plays out, and then the tone that my character would take at that point. So,
Yeah.
I believe next week, and I believe this weekend coming up, Kyle should be able to play Grodd.
You bet. He was going to come in tonight, but he got pulled into a little movie watching with the youngins. So that's that. That's okay. It's a holiday. So
cool. Well, I hate to say this, but it is past my bedtime. I do work tomorrow, so I am going to step out. So Dizzy, Agatha, thank you. I hope you have a good night. Fritz, you as well. And for everybody else out there, if we're still streaming, I had fun. It's a good time. It's not my choice of game, but you know what? Fritz makes it fun, so it should be good to go. And I don't know how to exit Foundry.
Now, let me show you how that's done. Go up to that top menu with the icons. The one that looks like a cog wheel, that's your settings. Yep. Scroll to the very bottom. There's one that says back to the forge.
Okay, got it.
Click that. Yeah, you're out of it.
There we go.
All right.
Awesome.
Max.
And I have this link saved now, so I should be able to get in no problems next time, so without
Okay.
bugging you too much.
Okay, my friend.
So,
I'm glad you
cool.
enjoyed. I'll see you again soon.
Thank you both, and you both have a good night.
All right.
You
take
too,
care.
Frey.
And folks, I'm going to call the stream here. I enjoyed it. It was good fun seeing Max in there and Dizzy once again. We're going to be back again next week. Probably, most likely, more Abomination Vaults with episode 55. And we'll see what happens with this new little twist in our story with Frey. And where's Grog? Or more so, where's Arthurian and Cassandra? We'll find out next time for sure. So folks, from me and Dizzy and everybody else here, you guys hang in there. It's only going to get better. And thanks for watching. Until next time, folks.